Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smashbox TV's podcast number 75. I am your host, Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, joined here in our luxurious Milwaukee studios, here with Johnny V. You just need a suit coat, buddy.
Yeah? You think so?
That's it.
Huh.
You almost got that look complete. I like it.
I could go upstairs and get our matching suit coats. Well, I only have mine. You have yours.
Yeah,
but...
sure. I know yours is in, mine's in your closet.
Yours would probably fit me about as well as this right here.
Yeah. All right, welcome everyone again. This is Podcast 75. We're going to have a little bit of a loose show here tonight. It should be a lot of fun.
This is our last show before you head off to the memorial.
It is. I'm not sure everyone wants to hear this complaint, but...
Oh, yeah, please lay it on me.
We did some searching. This is Dustin, our good friend Dustin Skorpinski, who's going to be going out there as well and staying in the same house I am. And he said, "Did you check the weather the other day?" And I'm like, "No, I haven't checked it." Like, it is what it is, right? He said, 87. And I said, 87? That's too hot. I mean, seriously. We all know I'm not the thinnest guy in town.
Maybe you will be with a lot of 87-degree weather.
But 87, like that's almost too warm.
It is.
57, 67, 77.
I agree.
But 87?
Anywhere from about, for me, 62 to about 75. I think that's good comfort range. Above that, you get a little gamey. You get a little warm.
Well, it's not quite as comfortable as we'd like. But anyway, so we're going to be heading out there on Saturday. Looking forward to seeing everyone out there. First, we have number 75, as Johnny said, brought to you in part by Daredevil Disc. We'd like to thank Ricky Singleton of Team Waka. He is your Daredevil representative here in the U.S. Please reach out to him. You can find him on Facebook. Again, it's Ricky Singleton, spelled just like it sounds. And if you need any discs of any kind from Daredevil, or you'd like to learn more about him, you can either check a previous podcast or reach out to him directly. So, again, thank you to Daredevil Disc. We're glad you could be here and supporting the show. We appreciate it.
We definitely are.
So, as I said, we're going to have a little bit of a back and forth kind of show. We're not going to open with Dana as we typically do. Dana is actually on a business trip. Disc golf business trip, that is.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. We can talk to him about that.
We will. So he's out in California right now. He's actually in a rec center hanging out, doing some recreational things. We are going to have our 3-time women's world champion in Valerie Jenkins. She's going to be joining us and specifically talking about updates for the women's global event. Of course, this being the 3rd time the event is taking place, and Val is heading things up, and she's going to give us all the updates, let us know where things stand, what people need to do to get registered, how many people are registered, and the other incentives that are still going on regarding that event. So we'll have some good, exciting updates from her. She may even have a special guest that sneaks in and gives us a few updates as well.
Ooh.
People traveling through Bend, and it's not Nate. All right, so we'll give you a spoiler.
We got a couple seconds of Val last week for Nate's segment. I wonder if we're going to get a couple seconds.
No, it won't be Nate.
I understand that. I got that from the first time you said it.
Okay, just letting you know. So we're glad you're out there and on the board. As always, we haven't told anyone this literally in months. If you're not getting us as clear as our pretty faces can be, you can bump it up on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. If you're, of course, watching it live, there may be a little gear there. You click on that, and we are streaming in 720, so you can bump up the clarity a little bit. One huge advantage to watching on some kind of computer screen is you can follow along our very active chat board, which we love. We love all our smashes. We love
every last one of them. I love communicating with them. I love chatting back and forth. I love not listening to you a lot.
Yep. We notice when you completely zone out into something on the chat board, and then I say something relevant that you miss. But what's new? So that's another great advantage. If you are listening live, you can follow along on the chat board and find out what's going on and ask some questions or clarifications, things of that nature.
I know a few people that put Smashbox on their main TV and then use like a tablet to chat. So go for it and do that.
Just do that on 10 or 15 different devices on
every
different
device in your house.
On different IP addresses, and we got that many more viewers, it looks like. But no, we're glad to have such a great live crowd here on Tuesday nights. So one other thing we're also going to talk about is Yuli's picks.
Yuli's picks.
That was something that we didn't get to during the show last week. Paul was out doing some other things, so just afterwards, after the after show, in fact, we hopped on with Yuli. We did our first ever edition or
Yeah,
our
it was like
debut.
it was like our beta edition. I called it kind of a practice,
We
a
could call it
proto.
a proto run.
Could have called it a proto
in
run.
disc golf terms, and
Too typical. So many other people do that.
well, we had that. We're going to talk a little bit about that, what happened there, and what you're going to see in upcoming weeks with it. Seems like a lot of people really latched onto it and really like the idea, so I think we're going to continue on with it.
We are.
And of course, we listen to you guys. At some point, that's going to probably expand to be a little bit more inclusive, probably have giveaways, and probably be more fun for everybody. But we'll talk about that another time. So in just a few minutes, like I said, we're going to dial up Val as she wanted to give us updates and, give us where we're at with the women's global event. So in just a moment, we'll have Val Jenkins here on the line.
We're going to give her up a call, get her on. And
I'm not sure if she knew. She knew we were coming at her early.
Well, yeah.
Dana usually opens the show, but like we said, we're going to check in with Dana a little bit later. Once he has some updates, he may have an extra visitor or two out there in California.
All right, we got Val. We're just waiting for her to push us some video, hopefully, and we'll get on the line with her. So,
Val, are you there?
Hi.
She's here.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey.
And welcome, everyone. This is Valerie Jenkins. Valerie Jenkins Doss. Val, how you doing, Val?
Good. How are you guys doing?
It's Tuesday night.
Crazy. Yeah.
I want to shorten it to just like to VJD because it's super close to JVD.
Uh-huh.
And it's just
And she's got better game than you?
and she's got way better game than me.
Okay, my married initials didn't turn out so well, but I'm glad it works on your behalf.
See?
I'll join this team with you.
Val, you're close of the age that I am, so growing up with the initials VD, not always the best. I was very thankful back in the day when they eliminated that moniker and went to a different one. For those of you that gather my gist.
Yeah. So, we're glad you could be a team player,
Cool. Good
Val.
start. This is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Woo!
All right. So let's move into what's really important here, and it's, of course, the women's global event. I got to ask the first question. How many people right now, how many women are registered?
All right. So currently we have 967 players. So that 967 players in 52 events across 200 states in the U.S.
Wait, back up. I'm going to stop you there. 200 states?
That's a lot of
22.
states.
Okay. Okay.
Excuse me.
No, that's all right.
It's all right.
22 states, and then we have 8 countries included this year.
Wow.
In previous years, I think we went 4 countries, 6 countries, and now we're up to 8 countries. Canada's running multiple events. Finland's running multiple events. We just got Scotland on board.
Wow.
Who knew?
And
it's awesome.
I'll be the first to admit I'm helping run a global event, and I'm not sure that I've updated the registration list in the last couple days, so that might be a person or two short. I take full blame for it. I have to download the registration list and put it back up to the PDGA, but we're within 1 or 2 women on my side.
Perfect. Yeah, so we're working our way. It was really quick to get to the 800 player mark, which happened, I think, just 2 weeks after we did our official announcement on January 6th. So we got 800 players in 2 weeks. I think it was another week later, January 27th. So about 20 days later when we got to 900 players. So things have kind of slowed down a little bit since the end of January, but the big draw was the players packs, and we only provided the first 800. So it was amazing that those went so quick, but so now we're just still steadily working away and trying to get more players, and I think we'll be at 1,000 players in no time.
So just to compare, for those who weren't here for maybe 1 or 2 of your other check-ins, what were the previous 2 years' numbers in terms of the actual turnout?
So I was going to make that a giveaway question.
Oh, okay. Well,
all right,
we can
then
wait.
don't answer.
Yeah, okay. Well,
well, it was going to be the first year. So in 2012, I want to know if anybody knows how many eligible players actually played in the first women's global event in 2012.
Is this
All right.
for a giveaway then?
It This is for
Ooh.
some sweet Paragon stickers, an awesome Women's Global Event towel, and a Val Jenkins disc.
Oh wow! One of our
All right.
personal.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to
Big
watch
time.
the
Are
board.
are you watching the chat, because I don't know the answer?
Or you could send it to me.
Or you could send it to Terry.
Or she's watching
then-
it and she's joking.
Huh?
What?
You want to send me privately the answer?
Who's got it?
Oh.
Anybody?
I-
I don't know.
We've got 456, 500, 436, 466, 512, 643, 345, 365, 32, 77,
These are just numbers.
Yeah.
They're just typing numbers.
427, 312, 1060,
All right.
575.
Yep.
Boom. 575 is a winner.
I thought we were going to be here all night.
No way,
Well,
Bobby Romo.
Well,
Bobby Romo, congratulations. You win yourself the pink disc. Go ahead and go out to smashbox.tv/winners, and you can fill out your information in there. We'll get that to Val so she can ship that out to you.
Awesome. And it's a TL. It's
Okay.
pretty sweet.
It's a pink
the 171 TL.
Awesome.
It'll go right in the bag, I promise.
there we go. Very
Yeah.
nice. Well, thank you.
That's great. Thanks a lot.
Perfect
Yeah,
for our
thank
giveaway.
you.
All right. Well, do I have any? I'm trying to think if I have any other good questions that are giveaway surprises or spoilers.
Did you trying to ruin more of her?
No. So Val, what would you say has been the number one hesitation? Are people, now that they don't have they're not guaranteed the players pack, or are people just not committed to that weekend yet, or need sitters? Have you heard any of the objections, or maybe things that are holding somebody up? And how can we overcome that objection for them?
Not really. I haven't heard too much. I think it was the initial excitement of the players packs, the initial excitement of the announcement, and it immediately probably got all the people that were involved in previous years on board. So now it's about reaching out to the new players, inviting, your friends that have maybe never played before. This is the chance to try it. So on our Facebook page, in the last month, on the PDGA Women's Global Event Facebook page, I've been posting a lot of really cool stories. So every Tuesday, so today, I posted up a story. We're calling them Tuesday Testimonials. And they're from women that played the Women's Global Event, whether it was their first time playing disc golf, their first time playing a tournament. And we wanted to hear, what they thought of the Women's Global Event. And these stories are just incredible, from women that decided to go for it, play their first competitive event. And now, we're 4 years later, they're running women's leagues, they're running tournaments, they're traveling all over competing, in tournaments. And it all started from the Women's Global Event. So, these stories are just so inspirational. And I think it's awesome that, we're getting the word out there like that, because I think it could be kind of intimidating to take your first leap into competitive of any sport, going into a tournament and keeping score, and, it can be intimidating, but I want to put these stories out there and let people know that this is a great opportunity to try it. So everybody watching and listening to this, invite the women in your life to come out and play on May 14th. I think it'll be well worth it.
Well, and let me reiterate to everyone out there, you do not need to be a PDGA member. You don't have to have signed up for it, and you don't have to sign up here on this particular day to do it. So anyone can play. There's no additional fees or costs associated with it if you're not a member. Typically there are at most PDGA events, but this one is not the case. So there's really virtually no excuse. If you're able to get there, make sure that you come check it out. Now, Val, you said 5.
And now I want to clarify, because there might be fees. So any event with WGE at the beginning of it, they are likely to be free or low cost. But we are having tournaments that add on the Women's Global Event. And so, you'd have to pay the regular entry fee. You have to be a PDGA member for those tournaments. So, yeah. Check out the site right now. Every event that's highlighted in pink, that is included in the Women's Global Event, but you got to check out their personal site or their registration and see the cost and everything.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. I was thinking of the event that we have in southeastern Wisconsin specifically is just a women's global event. We're not offering any other divisions or having any other tournament taking place with it. So, thanks for the clarification.
Are you the Foxy Ladies?
I certainly am not, but
I can vouch for that.
But yes, thanks to Jennifer Sanfilippo and the whole crowd and the group that she helps get together. Yes, that is the event. It's taking place at Gray Fox. Hence that was not my idea. That was their play on the name of having the Foxy Ladies down there. So, and what I'm going to make a quick plug for ours. Ours is such a great location because we're in southeastern Wisconsin, so people can come over easily from anywhere in Illinois, even Indiana, even Michigan's not that far, Iowa.
So, if you there you go.
It's just a really great central location. And I know I'd have to look. We're around 25, 30 women already, so hopefully we can just continue to build on our event.
Yeah. We, on the Facebook page, we're going to be highlighting the Foxy Ladies. I think this Thursday. We've got a little post, a little throwback Thursday picture from your event. Okay. And I found some cool stats because the first event only had 12 women playing. Mm-hmm. I believe the last in 2004 you had 39, if I could remember right.
36 or 39 sounds about right.
Yeah, so I mean that's huge. What 2 years did to your attendance is pretty awesome.
I'd be surprised if we don't get to 70 to 80-ish at least. I'd be surprised if we don't get there. So
that's amazing. That's so cool.
Like we said, we
think about really.
We got a lot of great women in our area that are encouraging and continue to bring out other women. And that was going to be one of my questions. So that's my event in our area. But what about what you see for this year in terms of the numbers? Do you have a special or a magic number in your head where you feel like, growth is growth. And even if you had the same amount, it'd be great. But, the first year, 575. Second year, you had even more. Is there a magic number in your head this year?
So in 2014 we had 1,030.
Okay.
So we were all floored when we got to 1,000 players. Especially that we were like 2 years before that we barely got 600. So it's catching on each year. So I don't know. It would be incredible to double our number or almost double it and get 2,000 women.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm going to keep promoting. I'm going to keep building it up on Facebook however I can. And we'll see. That'd be an awesome goal.
Okay. Wow. Fair enough. Now talk a little bit about
more.
Talk a little bit about the supporters again real quick for everyone that needs to know out there, all of the different people and organizations, clubs, and companies, manufacturers.
Well, I didn't pull all those up because we got almost double the amount. So I wanted to announce the new sponsors.
Okay.
So just in the last month, I think when we talked to you guys, we've got like 10 new sponsors. So we could be here for a while. But so our new sponsors, we have Flying Colors Disc Golf. They're a platinum sponsor. They're going to be in the players packs. They're giving away a giveaway. We got Throw Pink. And they're going to be donating some merchandise to every event. They're going to do a really great incentive on our Right to Play fundraising site. I'll tell you guys more about that in a second. Discmania, we've got Keen on board. Grip Equipment's donating a bag to every winner of every division.
Wow.
And we're up to 18 full divisions right now.
Holy
There's
cow.
19 divisions available. We're at 18. It's amazing. Soulflight gave us a giveaway. Chain Bang & Jewelry continues to keep donating things to us. Beautiful necklaces. Mm-hmm. They're going to be giving away a free PDGA renewal membership pretty soon. This company, Disc Golf for Women, they're donating a $50 gift certificate to every international event. So we're hoping to get some more international events signed up and maybe 10, maybe 12, who knows. And then we have another promotional sponsor, which will be Hucker Report, who will be writing articles for us and helping get the word out. So those are our new sponsors.
Wow.
So it's been overwhelming, the support we've gotten. And yeah, we have so many more amazing sponsors that have sponsored us this year, and everybody's listed on the PDGA website. So it's pdga.com/women. I'm not going to go with / /.
No,
I remember how that went.
So I've got to ask, when someone contacts you, what's kind of been their I don't want to say their theme. What's been their motive other than just supporting women? What are they saying to you when they say, "Hey, we want to support you and this event"? Like, kind of I don't want to say what's their angle, but I mean, you know what I mean? Like, when they're coming at you, what is the feeling that you're getting, that they're getting when they want to jump on board with this? Is that a good question? Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I know what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, I think you nailed it when you said, they want to support women and they want to support women's disc golf. They've seen in the past couple of years how much this event has grown, how many more women are playing, how many more women's events are going on during these off years. So I think that's the number one reason. Okay. And we're a community. I think everybody wants to see that kind of growth. And yeah, I mean, we have, if people want to get involved and sponsor, we're accepting sponsorship forms until March 4th. And they can write to us at WGE@pdga.com.
Okay.
And yeah, we have a whole bunch of different levels, from the platinum level, which is $8,000 and above. And then we have it all the way down to somebody helping out and giving a giveaway to, for whatever category they want to do it and whatever question they want to ask. Even something like this Smashbox interview. They can give us a giveaway and be promoted as part of the Women's Global event.
There you go. Yeah, because you're going to be checking in with us every couple of weeks to give us an update on how the WGE is going. So if there's someone out there that does want to do a donation or a giveaway, reach out to Val and we can get that done.
Awesome. Yeah, totally.
I wanted to give a quick update. I had to do some math for you. I had one person to update. Holly Finley, professional, who had played in our event in 2012. She's joined on, so now we're at 36, which is almost exactly like you said. That's where we were at 2 years ago. So we've only got
nice.
up to go from here. And there's how many months? 3 months?
Date?
Let's say 3 to
like current stats.
Yeah. What can I say?
I should have a ticker right now.
Just rolling.
Yeah, like one of those old GeoCities tickers.
Johnny V will create a ticker for the next show.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I'll work right on that.
And just have the women's global count.
It's like a telethon.
There you go.
Yep.
Phone it.
We just got to get Steve Gans on it.
Yeah, well, yeah. If Steve Gans can get something like that up on the PDGA website, we will link right to it and show it. So
yes,
we're calling out Steve Gans. That's how I pass the buck.
What you got? Anything else for us in terms of updates out there regarding the Women's Global event?
Yes. So we are stepping up this year, and we wanted to do something more than what we're already doing and getting all these ladies to play. We're supporting a global charity called Right to Play. They're all around the world. They're reaching out in 18 countries, and they use play to educate children in less fortunate countries. So they use play to teach them about different diseases, teach them about healthcare. So it's a really great motive to get kids involved and educate. So we're helping them out, and we've created a fundraising page. And so we posted the link up on our Facebook page today to get to the fundraising page. But we did some updates. We want to get these fundraising off the ground. And so today we've resituated our incentives and our prizes that we're offering for this fundraising campaign. So right now we're offering prizes to the top 3 individuals that raise enough money. So the first prize we have right now is for a Discmania bag, stock full of Discmania discs, Discmania apparel, hats, things like that. And it's a Discmania grip bag. That is our number 1 prize.
Nice.
Throw Pink is giving us the second place prize, which is a Throw Pink sport basket. And it's awesome. It's like this pink and blue basket. I mean, I already have 2 in my backyard, but I kind of want that one. So, yeah. And then our third place prize is Keen Footwear has donated a free pair of Keens to the third place. And then for the team that raises the most money, so we're encouraging women's global events that are being run out there to create a team so that they can have players, individuals, anybody involved with the event, join that women's global event team, and they'll be eligible for a bunch of prizes. So that team will be featured in an article on pdga.com. There'll also be an article featured on them in the fall magazine and the Disc Golfer magazine. They'll be listed as the top team fundraisers. They'll get 2 free 1-year PDGA memberships, a free shoe card, $100 gift certificate to Huck Lab, and the team captain can distribute that amongst the team. And yeah, hopefully we get some teams on board and some more individuals on board. And some other ways to raise money for the cause. You can see this sweet sweatshirt I'm wearing.
Mm-hmm.
For the audio listeners, it's like a greenish white sweatshirt that says the 2016 PDGA WGE.
And it's awesome.
And it's awesome.
And done by Miles Parkhill over at Paragon Disc Golf.
Yep.
So Paragon has created official women's global event merchandise. So he's got several shirt options, the sweet sweatshirt, got this towel that I gave away earlier as the giveaway, and so a bunch of things stamped with the women's global event. So he'll be donating proceeds from all the sales of that merchandise to Right to Play. And then Innova is selling Star Mirages stamped with the women's global event logo, and they're selling those through the DGU store, and proceeds from those sales are going to go to Right to Play as well. So if you're not playing the event, you don't want to create a fundraising page, you can help out that way. But currently, Disc Golf for Women, we haven't raised any money yet. So I got another kind of offer because I have to catch up to Sarah Nicholson, all the ladies on the women's committee. I got to get some fundraising going. So I'm offering some bribes.
I was just going to say, it sounds like bribe time.
Because we got to step this up. We got to start raising some money. So if you guys go to the Facebook page, so PDGA Women's Global Event Facebook page, I put the link up there. And so for the basically the first 5 people to donate $20
or more
to the Disc Golf for Women team, I'm giving them each a disc.
What?
So whoever donates on there, and I'm sorry if you're the 6th person, but I'm just saying thank you. So if you want one of these sweet discs and you want to help out an awesome cause, head over to the Facebook page, go over to the Right to Play fundraising page, and help a sister out.
There you go. Now, will it allow... I haven't clicked on any links yet. Will it allow to make a donation of more than 20 right there? Is it nice and easy, or are there set amounts? Okay, so with a donation of 20 or more,
yes,
the first 5 people to do that for Val here to get her team up and rolling, she's bribing you guys, which is, it sounds like a great bribe to me. You're getting something in return.
I'll beg.
So tell us again, where do they go to do that?
If you go to the PDGA Women's Global Event Facebook page.
Yep.
I just posted a link to the Right to Play fundraising page from there. And I hinted that this might be a crucial show to watch just in case for fun prizes. So, yeah, go over there and like the page while you're at it, because we're going to have lots of updates and, maybe more giveaways. Who knows?
And so once they get to the Right to Play Facebook page, and then it looks like it ultimately brings them, takes another click or two, and then you get to the donate section right on Right to Play as well.
RightToPlay.com, and then there's a donate up at the top.
That's what you're, okay. We're just double checking. Johnny V's working through this, so we want to make sure everyone understands.
Yep, you go to Right to Play, it looks like you donate, and you hit, whatever country you're in. I'm picking the United States.
Oh, you're so elitist.
Are you both doing it right now?
$20.
Darn it, that would have been a good idea.
And then I'll just give you the disc when I see you at the memorial.
Ah, shoot. I'm going to race people. I want to get over there and do it. Right.
So, in the meantime, somebody just stumbled in. I think the wind blew this this person right into my house.
Well, we know she's never in the same house
Who's here?
twice.
Oh, I'm just getting blown in.
Hi.
Welcome.
Brent.
I did pretty good at ignoring Zoe, and I was in the zone.
She did really good.
You were in the anti-zone. Zoe. No. All right, welcome everyone. Surprise guests in another city, in another house, in another zip code and area code, as always. Zoe, how we doing tonight?
Really good. Look where I'm at. I'm with my buddy Val.
Yes, you are. Great place to be.
This is maybe the third time I've seen Zoe, but I mean, the last time I saw her was probably in Pittsburgh or something. So it's awesome that she's kind of in her old hometown giving us a visit.
So Zoe, you're packing up. You're hitting the road any minute now, any day now, and you've got some things that are going on. Tell us what happened this last weekend.
Oh, man. It was fun. So last Sunday, Val and myself and Jacqueline Hallstad got to go to our local course here, which is the Bend Pine Nursery disc golf course. And we just made a little poster, and we invited all the women of Central Oregon that are interested in disc golf on any caliber to join us. And it was for 9 holes. And I had a plan that I discussed with Val and Jackie before we went, from one woman showing up to like 30 plus women showing up. We had a format for 9 holes, and we were fortunate enough we had 5 women there and 3 that played and 4 women there and another interested. So that was obviously a bonus. And before we even kicked the whole event off, we got a text from our friend here that, Ryan Lane, he's a tournament director for a lot of local stuff. He's been a club president here, and he said, hey, the KTVZ local Channel 21 News is going to come and watch you guys or ask you questions. And we're like, oh, all right. And it really was kind of neat because they really just were interested in what we were doing and why we called other women to come down. And it's very in the theme of what we're all doing, from Women's Global, Disc Golf for Women, the women that I've been working with on those WCWs, and kind of, I feel like the common theme of our year really is women and empowering women and helping other women. And KTVZ put us on the news for almost a minute, just letting everyone know that we want to help out when we can. And we were around promoting the course and the sport.
That's great.
So it was kind of cool.
It doesn't get
it's not often that a news channel or any of the local media approaches you and wants you to tell them more. It's always us reaching out to them. And for us to run this casual event, all but one of the ladies were new to me, so that was really cool. We were teaching new women in the area, and then to have the news show up and kind of, oh yeah, the news is here all the time. Like, that's what it seemed like just for this casual event. It was really cool.
Yeah, that's my crew. That's my posse.
It was special. And the gal, the news reporter, admitted to us she didn't know what disc golf was. So that's always a treat, describing it quickly what it is and kind of what they take from it. And the other thing I was really impressed and happy about is one of the gals that played the 9 holes with us, I saw on the course earlier, and I challenged her to come, and I had a feeling she wasn't going to at all. And I went to go meet Val and Jackie, and then that gal and her boyfriend ran into our friends that I was warming up with, and they were like, hey, you really should go and see what these girls have to say. And those men telling her and her boyfriend, you should go, the support from the men really changed that gal's mind. And she was my doubles partner. And she had a great time. We're friends on Facebook now. She's asking questions. She was an ultimate player, and I think she's got the disc golf bug now. So
that's the best part. It
was just, even if it was just the one person, and there was more than one, it was all worth it in the day. So it was a good outreach day. It was fun.
Well, it sounds like you guys are keeping busy. We also heard of other news. The LA Times followed back up with the Wintertime Open. So some pretty serious media exposure out there this weekend, which isn't too bad considering we haven't really hit the full swing of the season
No, we're
yet.
just getting into swing
So very cool. All right, Zoe. Now, where are you? You're taking off. You're not traveling with Val and Nate, but you're taking off a little earlier. What's your plan as you head south down toward the memorial?
Okay. We're driving straight from Bend, Oregon. We're gonna leave at 5 in the morning on Thursday, and we're gonna try to hit up a practice round by around noon on Friday.
Yeah.
I say that because that's me. The other two car mates are like, let's take a nap when we get there. Let's see if we can get on the course and putt.
Yeah, and
We're going straight down. We're not even going to stop in Vegas. We're just going to stop to get gas and then just get there to the warmer weather.
Yeah, we saw by the facial expression there by Val that the seasoned touring player was like, that doesn't
It's
sound
not appealing.
What?
Yeah, that's a little intense for the first tournament, but
Well,
road warriors.
yeah. And I gotta say, I actually kind of planned on being there today or tomorrow, and so I have a higher priority to get down there. There were some Phoenix Ladies Open players that I actually am looking forward to checking in to do a lesson, and then being around at spinners on the green. I told Keith that myself and other women are going to be available for lessons. I have committed that to him, and then other gals like this one and Jackie and other people, maybe they'll have time too.
Hey, when are you doing that?
Anytime somebody's interested. So I just feel like we're there, and if we have the time and the pro is interested, I definitely am going to try to outsource women to women, so that disc golf can be taught, demonstrated, given. Or, there's always an opportunity for someone wanting to caddy and things like that. That's some of the best ways to learn. I personally am not like super outreaching for a caddy for myself, but I think that if you have the desire to get better, you want to be on the front lines, caddying is a really good way to get like a full clinic without even bothering a pro. I mean, if you pay attention to a tournament round, you will learn so much. And so those kinds of things I want to try to connect and be a part of. The warm weather, I just can't wait. I mean, we're doing pretty good here in Bend. It's like 40 right now, so
Heat wave.
woo.
Yeah.
Well, that's good because that means that's going to probably come by us in about a week and a half.
We'll see about that. It's supposed to be in the 30s here in Wisconsin until the day I leave, and then drop down to around 0. So.
Thanks.
Anyway, so I'm going to give you guys a trivia question just for the two of you. I'm looking at the memorial registration. Do you guys have any idea the exact count of open women that are registered?
Ooh.
I
say 36.
Okay.
I was going to say 32.
All right. The correct answer per PDGA right now, and I don't think it's changing much, 22.
Oh.
Hey, we were close.
Way close, yeah.
36, 22, yeah.
You got high expectations.
So in the
That's
next
right.
5 minutes, if 10 women sign up, Terry will give you his car.
Yes.
I mean,
yeah, you
just-
can. All
Looking
right.
around the room.
Let's do a follow-up.
No, but I actually, while we're talking about giveaways, I want to interject really quickly. I'm going to let Val say the site again, and then I'm going to do a giveaway if you donate to what you just said, PD.
Right to play?
Yeah, right.
All right. Yeah, if you go to the Right to Play page, donate to Disc Golf for Women. Yeah, I got Zoe on my team. Zoe's giving us something.
So I see somebody out there so excited to help us out that the first awesome donor to give us a $100 or more, I'm not going to cap it, but a baseline of a $100 donation is going to get a nice starter pack of discs. What that means to me is one of each of the 4. That's a putter, a mid, a fairway driver, and a distance driver, and they're going to be Innova discs.
All right. So there you have it.
So it's
Throw
got to
it
be
down.
$100 though, or more.
Yeah.
And
So
I have a team of people here to help me make sure who that is.
All right.
So I'm assuming when you make a donation, because I went on to try to do it myself, and unfortunately I don't have my credit card, so it's upstairs, so I'm going to have to wait to make the donation. But you'll probably get an email.
Are you trying to get Terry to pay for it?
No,
Is
God,
that-
no.
I've heard that move before. I've heard that line.
That doesn't work.
Oh, my wallet.
No, that doesn't work for Terry, trust me.
No.
I'm the one with the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. It probably
seriously,
It probably
I
sends
have-
you an email confirmation that then we can forward on to you. Is that how that's going to work?
Or do you log in
I
and
think
get
I'll be able to see it if I go to the fundraising page.
Okay, perfect.
It'll show me the individuals that raised a certain amount of money, and yeah, it'll list it by the time that they sign it. So
awesome.
Donate.
So just to clarify from what I saw, Sarah Nicholson chimed in on the board earlier. There is already a Foxy Ladies team. Is that correct? Is that what I understood? Or no?
On Ready to Play?
Yes.
Maybe.
Okay, I thought that's what she had said.
You got a giveaway, Terry?
No,
What's going on?
no, I thought that there was, and I wanted to clarify because Sarah Nicholson she said she was coming after. Okay.
I think the Foxy Ladies are actually one of the top fundraisers at this point.
Damn.
But
if I'm running that event and they're doing so much of this work, it would be silly for me not to do a giveaway. So the first $1,000 donation, no, I'm just kidding. No, I'll go ahead and say that too. So Jennifer Sanfilippo locally is going to have to let me know, assuming she's running that team. We'll put up I'll put up a sweet Smashbox disc, 2 of them, 2 Smashbox discs that are hard to come by and are limited run. 2 Smashbox discs for the first $100 donation as well for the Foxy Ladies team.
Whoa! Challenge.
There you go.
Challenge accepted.
Throwing down
Nice.
plastic.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Kinda. Now it's competition.
This is a good point for me to go ahead and do a learning moment. We have friendly competition, all for the right purpose here. I mean,
all for the right to play.
What could be better? It's a lesson in a show itself.
Sarah Nicholson says she'll put up a disc too. So
what? Sweet.
They're ganging. I don't think it's for you.
Oh, okay.
I think they're ganging up on you.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna find something and blow this out of the water. I don't know. Where do I get my special disc? Dan Harbeck says. I don't know. Dan's probably donating to everyone. He's such a generous and kind supporter. Thank you, Dan. And if you weren't donating, I kind of just forced you into doing it. So thanks, Dan. We appreciate it.
Jeez.
Anyway, Zoe, you're going to be busy at the memorial. You're also rolling down with one of our main cameramen in Joe Height. You may be putting up with him longer than I have to for the whole week.
The whole year.
Yeah, because I mean that's a straight stretch of time with Joe. Is he ready to go? Is he jacked for the memorial here?
He is. He's totally emotionally ready.
Okay.
That's it.
Just emotionally.
He's probably doing laundry right now.
Okay. Well, he's a step ahead of me then.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Joe's really looking forward to this year too. I think this will be one of his biggest years on the disc golf scene with you guys and the Smashies, and he brings some of the most professional presentation to our sport. So I personally couldn't be happier to spend this much time with Joe this year.
Well, he's going to be a huge asset. Yeah, he's going to be a huge asset working with us on Smashbox. Yep. Obviously, he's going to be part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and he was also, for those that don't know, he was the man behind putting together the Pro Tour plugs, all those individual, those 30-second clips, except for the last one. So that was footage that we got throughout the year, but Joe was actually the one that assembled all of those. So sweet work by Joe, and we're excited to have him. And have him as part of the team. And our good friend Gary, that's another story, though. We're excited to have him as well. All right. So.
Yeah. So on that real quick, I think I want to give a little coaching advice to every pro on tour. I just thought of it.
All right.
And that is because we have such good media coverage this year and people like Joe Hyde out there, I challenge every one of you to find a way to be brave, whether you're practicing putting in front of a mirror or your hot significant other or someone you're nervous to show disc golf to. I would challenge every one of you touring pros at any level or even professionals in your own town. Find someone that you could be less than 100% confident in front of and maybe throw your disc in front of them. I mean, we're going to have media everywhere. So I know that speaking on the other side of these media guys are the target of horrible comments sometimes or game blaming. So like, dang, I missed that putt. The camera guy was in the way. I don't think any of us want to do that because we're all very excited about how awesome the media is. My challenge for you guys is to find ways to be comfortable with all this great media on the course with us. Is that said well?
Yeah.
I just want us all to
I
be
see that.
ready for it and embrace it in a really positive tone because of all of the gaps that this will bridge having good media coverage.
Well, one of the other ways I've seen is to get over that is, film yourself and just put it up on Facebook. If you're nervous in front of a camera, just set it up there and put it out on Facebook on one of the forums. It's hard to say, forums, and have other people critique you. It's a good way to get comfortable in front of a camera.
That's one way. And then I think just as the crowds and the galleries get bigger and bigger, people are going to have to adjust.
Yeah.
And whether, I hate to say it, whether you like it or not, that's all part of our sport growing. And that's all part of us being there as media. But just crowds and galleries are going to continue to grow as well. And all of those things are going to have to get factored in. We asked a question with our good friend Johnny McCrae over on the Disc Golf Answer Man. And we kind of challenged him with the same thing and said, how is that going to happen? And his answer to that was he's going to slow down and he just needs to be focused on the things that he's doing. And I'll say, we can just hope that nobody, coughs or sneezes in mid-throw. But other than that, we got to get used to it. It's all part of the growth, and it should be exciting for sure.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's be excited about this media coverage.
And
that's my challenge.
As the galleries grow, actually the cameramen will probably fade from sight. They'll blend in more with the galleries probably.
Well, Val, I'll ask you the question. You've played in front of a camera more than all three of us combined.
Last year they played in front of a camera together on one card.
But
on Smashbox.
Overall, in general, you've played.
Yes.
You've had
Good bring up.
Amongst all of us, though, you've definitely had the most on-camera time playing disc golf. Do you see them? Do you think about them? Are they ever a concern, cameras or gallery?
I remember to start, they were, and especially when there's just the one person, whether it's somebody walking or if it's the one cameraman, and it's up to the player to ask them to move, if it's bothering them, it's up to them to make sure, to take their time, let the distraction go wherever, and then focus again. That's up to the player. Things that happen right in the middle of the throw, maybe you can't prevent, but on that note. But anyways, I remember that my first Final Nine was in 2005 during the World Championships.
Pittsburgh?
Yep.
Allentown. Sorry.
Yeah, some guy won. I don't remember.
Some guy you married.
Yeah, and so me and Courtney McCoy now, we tied, and we made it into the Final Nine, and I remember just how silly we were because people were watching us. Playing on the women's card, you don't get huge galleries. And in 2005, there were no galleries anyways. But to be in front of the gallery during a Final Nine was just so crazy. We didn't even care how we threw. I think she threw into a tree literally 10 feet in front of her. And we just died laughing because, all these people are watching us. And that was pretty embarrassing. But now, playing at these huge tournaments, one that's just amazing in my mind about spectators is the European Open. If you guys see pictures from those tournaments or if you watched any of the film, thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And when it becomes that point, it could be 10 people watching me now or 1,000 people, and it's the same amount of pressure. It's all just kind of a blur. It's still exciting to play in front of them because I know people are watching, but at the same time, it's the same amount of pressure either way. And it's awesome. I love seeing the crowds grow. And to me, it doesn't make me nervous anymore. It makes me try harder. I think a lot of people get real nervous and then, go off of their routine and it messes them up. But, these people want to see you throw good shots. They're encouraging you to throw good shots. So, I think it's motivating.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, that's good.
It's good that you asked that too, Terry, because for those of you that are out there that are, wanting to aspire to being a touring professional, or that those of you that are claiming to be in the professional divisions, it's really special for me right now to hear someone like Val. She's my friend. She's one of my heroes. She's a lot of things in disc golf. But what I just heard her say was straight professionalism. And what that really means, everyone listening, is Remember that to be a pro at anything, there is just no blaming game, and there is just nothing but it's mental, it's physical, and it's hard work in every front every day. And so Val at this point is 10 people or 10,000. Back in 2005, didn't matter either, but it was very scary. But look where she is now. So just striving to be a professional, just I think that's really important to take from what she just said, because I just learned, you know. So.
Well, I'm gonna.
And this is only my 5th year going on the road. I've completed 4, and I would say this is the first year I feel really ready, even to be
5 years.
Yeah. Well, it's been 4. This is number 5.
I remember sitting in our living room, and you were like, "All right, I'm going on tour."
Yeah.
You were going with Barsby, and you were getting excited about all the tour stops, and we're like, "All right, Zoe, you know how it is on the road, right?"
And I said yes.
And she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna power through straight to Arizona in one night. That's how it is."
Who wouldn't do that?
Sure.
I learned a lot.
And Val's over there rolling her eyes.
I hope to do that.
All right, so Val, here's another question, kind of along those lines, though. We're just about to enter into the memorial. Of course, we're covering it live, and there's going to be recorded coverage out there. There's going to be a lot of media, a lot of gallery. What are your tips for the media, for the gallery, for the people that are watching? Go ahead and tell people what you would like to see, or the respect, what you consider respectful viewing and watching. What would you like to see? What keeps you calm and at ease?
I would say don't wear those fluorescent colors and stand behind the basket and jump.
Okay.
Don't do that.
That's a good one.
I mean,
okay to clap for great shots.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a lot of people that are watching us, do feel like it's golf, and I appreciate that they're quiet, but it's kind of funny when there's 20 people watching, or there's a gallery watching, and they're afraid to clap at the good shots.
Okay.
We hope they would. We hope they aren't silent. We want to hear some feedback after a great shot or a huge drive. It's like, so yeah, then
it's okay to be excited over talent,
But at the same time, yeah, that there's a group behind you. Everybody's stacked up on these courses at the memorial. So yeah, you gotta be aware where other groups are and maybe not shouting while they're throwing, because yeah.
Well, Simon's on the board right now, and Simon says you should even clap for good tries.
Yeah, so. Simon.
Simon.
Yay, Simon.
That Simon says you got to do it,
yeah,
right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Simon says you have to do it.
Simon did tell us in a very early interview, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but he said sometimes, he said exactly what you're saying, that sometimes it's even tough to impress some of our American gallery, that people, just kind of are ho-hum about things, and that leads exactly to what you were just saying. Val is like, yeah, if it's good, if it's a good shot, clap for it. Cheer, get excited.
I think some crowds, I've heard pros and even us laugh when someone claps after like a 10-foot putt. Like everyone's like, oh yeah, and you're like, and everyone's like, oh god, that's routine. At what point isn't it routine? Like 30 foot, when you watch all these pros put in 30-footers, they make it look real easy. So the crowd can kind of get pushed into a lull, like, oh, another 30-foot or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's, for us particularly, 30 feet's daunting at times, especially at some of those major events.
Yeah.
I say anything around that circle, I'm going to give it a big ol' applause.
Yeah. Well, a couple great tips added in for the board, so I'll help you out here, Val. Chris Cobb, our huge supporter out in Arizona, says that to not ask for autographs during the round. That's a pretty good tip for any viewers out there.
Yeah.
That may or may not be
Very
obvious. I know you guys have been asked at various times, so not in the middle of the round would certainly be courteous. And another thing that Marty Gregoire, our media manager from the PDGA, says, if there are ropes out there or someone holding up signs, everyone needs to stay behind them. And that's, well, you say of course, but unfortunately we'll go out there and we see plenty of people don't abide by that. So that's another good one.
Not our smashies. They're smart.
No, our smashies.
Media Marty probably has some tips on tweeting and hashtagging and all sorts of things. So that's pretty important for us spectating. We all know how important social media is. And that guy, I mean, when you see him at a tournament, you get familiar with the top of his head, because he is tweeting, he's live tweeting, he's all over the course getting updates from every card, it seems like. And yeah, I'm sure Media Marty has some hashtags to update us on for the memorial.
Well, we'll work on
Right?
some Smashbox ones for this upcoming opening national tour event. All right, ladies, I think we're going to let you go. We've rounded up some other guys that we knew we were going to talk to after you guys. We're going to keep things rolling, and we appreciate the updates, Val. Val, when should we be talking Women's Global Event again? Another month? 45 days? What are you thinking?
Well, like we were talking about, I'm going to the memorial. We're leaving tomorrow. You know, we'll be playing the memorial. Then I'll be down in LA for the La Mirada tournament, the World Tour tournament. Disc
Golf World Tour. Yeah.
And then we'll be home around mid to late March. So
Okay.
let's plan on that.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
Cool.
All right, ladies. Well, we will see you both. I will see you both. Johnny will be here. I will see you both in person in all of, 72, 96 hours, something like that, in a few days.
Yay!
Bring
right.
your sunscreen, Terry.
I will. I've already
Yes,
got it.
that's you two are in charge of that, because every time we get him on camera, after he's been in Arizona for like 3 days, he looks like a beat.
Yeah.
So-
I've seen it, yes.
Val, got my back, bro.
We all are.
You got my back, bro. You got the sun. Anyway.
Nate's got it.
All right. Yeah.
Better.
Yeah, that sounds like him.
Awesome.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks a lot for
All right.
joining us. We'll see you guys in a few days. Travel safely, both of
Safe
you.
travels.
All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right. And
Wow, that was a lot of good info. Terry's coughing here. He's have himself a little issue. A lot of good information from those wonderful women, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of them in the upcoming weeks and the upcoming months. So I'm looking forward to a fantastic year with them.
I'll say Val had reached out to us earlier in the year, asked if Smashbox would kind of help promote, do whatever we could to spread the good word of the Women's Global Event. Of course, without hesitation, we immediately said yes. So, like I said, every few months or so, or 4-6 weeks or so, let's check in with her. I'd like to know where the number's at and give these updates and send out some more encouragement. So thank you so much to both Val and Zoe for joining us. Who do we got next, Johnny?
Well, I've lined up someone who we're going to be seeing in a couple weeks.
Or in a few days for me, maybe, or no?
Yeah, you'll see him in a few days.
Oh, okay.
We're going to catch up with Mr. Paul Ulibarri.
Wow.
And we're going to do some Ulis picks. As soon as he gets on Skype here, I've texted him. He said he's so ready. I asked him if he was
so
ready.
ready.
He said so ready. I think he's going to have to maybe take a little... How would you put that? Maybe he's going to have to take a back seat to our picks.
So my question for you, as we'll get into it, is are you doing record keeping here? Do you have those handy?
I do have records.
Okay.
And I'm keeping them handy.
Okay, so you have the overall running scores.
Right, as far as points?
Yes.
There's only been one event we've picked on.
correct.
So right now, I do have the running.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure on, because you didn't share any of this with me.
No.
So I wanted to make sure.
I keep it secret.
Chris Cobb's on the board out in Arizona telling us that he's taking a break from his poker game to join us. And for those of you who haven't obviously been able to tell, I've been under the weather a little bit these last few weeks with some kind of a goofy cough, trying to see if I can force this thing out in the next few days. So I'll be plugging cough drops. I think that's what these are.
I hope so.
I found them on your floor. I'm going to assume they're cough drops.
Either they're Legos, one or the other. Well, while we wait for Paul to get on online here, let's quickly talk about some of the different news that we saw this week.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Are you? Oh, good. I'm glad you are. You don't really have a choice. So I saw something really interesting, and I'm going to bring it up here. So there was I believe, a filing from some sort of, it's not the FCC, but basically it said that Westside Discs is developing what they're calling smart disc technology. I saw this on the Noodle Arm Disc Golf website. So that's noodlearmdiscgolf.com. You can bring it up, and basically what it said was Westside is developing a chip on site that is supposedly, we kind of touched on this last week with Zoe, and this broke earlier this week about how their discs and Dynamic Discs is going to license the technology. So they'll put them in different plastics. It won't be removable. Basically, it's a rechargeable chip that you pop in, and it's going to give you data about your game.
I don't know if I like that.
I know. Do we want to know how slow we throw?
Yeah, or about how bad my game has become after a few years of not.
I don't think it'll show you your score.
No, okay.
Thankfully, yeah, I think it's just supposed to tell you things like, maybe velocity and.
So some of the things that we actually talked about and asked about last week, Zoe had kind of broke some news last week, talking that she has had conversations with Intel.
Yep.
Out on the West Coast. She's been talking with them and doing some disc golf. What would be the term there? She's been an ambassador to them, kind of a conduit to them, and talking about various things. So last week we posed the question, if we could gather data about discs and them being thrown, what would that be? And it sounds like we were maybe already talking about something that was in the works. Is that what you're saying?
I believe so.
Okay. Huh. Well, I'm interested to hear more. I didn't read up too much on it. I saw something that may have crossed a pdga.com website in terms of an article of some sort, but I can't say that I read up on that.
Yeah, if you can, like I said, just go to Noodle Arm Disc Golf. They've got a whole thing on it, and then we can basically, you can kind of go and discover more about that. So, without further ado, we have, as of right now, what I'm going to call Mr. Third Place.
Ouch.
Yeah. We need some sort of intro music for him.
Okay.
But we've got him on the line. Paul, how you doing?
A little disappointed.
Disappointed? Why are you disappointed? Could you fill us in on why you're disappointed?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe my picks weren't up to par last weekend.
Okay.
Or maybe your picks were a little over par, if you know what I mean. Hey, no. No.
Wow.
Wow, are you insulting all the players he picked?
I think
you
I
just
am.
basically insulted 4 of the top pros in our game. Congratulations. You can mark them off the Smashbox list.
No, in all seriousness, we've got to ask, are you more or less disappointed than our friend on the board in Eagle McMahon? I mean, it was a story in itself. Dana called us out, said that none of the 3 of us picked Eagle in our picks. Then he was just 1 stroke behind Macbeth going into Sunday morning's round, and lo and behold, the Prius got him. And
never heard it coming.
No, I don't think he did. Man, that would have jacked us all up had, that maybe shook out quite a bit differently.
Probably would have.
What do you think about that?
No, I think that I was talking to Eagle earlier today, and he said that maybe you had altered the back of the Prius or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there was conversation. I mean, to pick on Prius because it's so easy to do, right? People were talking what had more damage, Eagle's finger or the Prius. I think that was one of the questions that was asked out there. But no, on a serious note, we're really sorry that he had to withdraw.
Yeah, it's awful. It really is.
Yep.
And my best wishes to him and a quick recovery. And I hope to see him. I think he said he wasn't playing the Memorial. I hope he gets well enough to play by then. But I actually watched his vlog today, and it sounded like he was going to be skipping that in Vegas.
Wow.
Yeah, I talked to him, and he said he's hoping that it's better by the Memorial. The doctor says he can throw again in between, I think he said 7 to 12 days. Right. So it's going to be close, but, we wish nothing but the best for him.
Yeah, and as such a young kid, and I know other people said it, but as such a young kid with such a bright future, he was he was positive. And, it's all you can do in a bad situation. Well, you could have been worse, but he was really positive on his Facebook post. And so we do all wish him a quick and speedy recovery. All right, so, Paul, we kind of sprung this new segment on everyone last week after the fact. Go ahead and kind of break down how you thought of it and what you think we're going to see in the next few weeks.
Well, I thought of it because, watching Sports Center, watching sports all of us our whole lives, you see the way they talk about upcoming weekends, upcoming events, from the playoffs to the regular season, and basketball, baseball, football, and how they always, analyze, talk about the stats, talk about the players, talk about who's going to win, why they're going to win. And I think that's something that we've been missing in disc golf, is a way for us to, kind of analyze. And I feel like you and John and myself know the game and know how people play. We've seen a lot of courses, and I don't know, no better people to do it with, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
Nobody better.
What it also does, though, I'll say, unlike some of those more professional sports or more professional broadcasters, there's usually a little more layering between the guys in the booth and then the guys that are throwing the disc.
That's right.
Now, it's a little different. Especially you as a fierce competitor with them, and then me as someone who calls their shots, possibly just a few feet away from them. We're a little closer.
I'm fine sitting right here. I'll call the shots from here. I'll tell you who's going to win, who's going to lose, straight up.
But will this inspire? Will this work anyone up when it's all said and done about who's picking who to win?
Maybe I actually threw a text to Macbeth, not about the Yuli's picks, and his first response to me was, "Can't believe you're texting a second place finisher."
Wow. Now I'll give you this. They didn't catch it on air because we briefly talked right before we did the thing. You actually were talking about picking him to lose in a tie. That was your original thought, was that him and Rico would go into a tie and Rico would pull it out, but that didn't actually make the air. So we'll at least give you that he was going to tie for first.
Right. Exactly. The best score.
And in your defense, some of these events, there's going to be a little bit of just going after strategy because there may seem to be, just to kind of go against the grain, really. So we all know that Paul's as good as he is, and that you kind of just went against the grain because you kind of assumed we'd do what we did. All right, Johnny, break down the number.
Whoa. Eagle was one back going into the final.
That's true.
He was.
And that could have definitely ended it a lot different. And that's not taking anything from Macbeth, and it's definitely not taking from Eagle, but I think that
I think it would have shaken out.
It was close. I think it was closer than it looks on paper.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So
what really does matter is what's on paper right now, though.
What's on paper. So we'll quickly do a recap of last week before we get into this week. For the Wintertime Open, currently in third place is Paul with 5 points. He picked clearly some of the wrong people to finish in the wrong places. I'm trying to gather here. I hid some of the things so it'd be easier for us to pick. So he picked Steve Rico, Paul Macbeth, and then I believe it was it Philo? And then Philo, and then Kyle Ekman. Mm-hmm. So he got 5 points because it's 3 points if you nail somebody on the head where they finish, and it's 1 point if you get them but they don't finish in the right spot.
Okay.
Right.
So second place is not Terry. It's me with 9 points because I picked Macbeth to win, followed up by Rico, followed up by Kyle Ekman, and then Simon Lizotte. Terry...
No, you had Philo.
No, Kyle Ekman.
Okay, sorry.
That's right. Terry, on the other hand, went Paul Macbeth, Steve Rico, Philo, Simon. You came out of the gate with a perfect 4 for 4. Win, place, show, whatever fourth place is.
All right. Well, I can't rest on that. We got a big week coming up.
Well, Gentlemen's Club.
All right, Gentlemen's Club. So just so everyone knows at home, we have all, in fact, independently submitted our picks. I don't even want to know what either of the other two pick because I don't want to have any other switch of strategy or anything like that. So we all separately go out to a website. We all punch in our picks independently, and then they all appear on this magic spreadsheet. Do you remember what your 4 picks were in order?
No. Winner goes first.
Oh, winner
you
goes
get
first.
to pick.
Okay, that's fine.
You get to pick first. You get to tell us who you went with.
I've got to look at the sheet here.
So right here are your picks. I'll actually help you out. You picked to win Nico Lacastro.
Nico. I've heard of
First
that guy.
place.
He's pretty good.
He's all right. Second place, you went with Jeremy Coling.
I did. Big Germ.
Big Germ to finish second.
Wow.
Third place, Bobby Music.
Yes.
Bobby Music, third place.
Bobby Love.
And once again, taking fourth place, Mr. Fourth Place, apparently, Simon Lizotte. So,
I pick them as I see them.
All right. Did you have now you have to deal with these people in a couple weeks, in a couple days. I don't. Did you have any reasoning behind that?
I know Nico's played well there before. I know that Bobby Love loves playing out in Vegas. He's had some good times out there. We saw him out there in November. Yuli, you bested him by a stroke or two out there in November. But I know Bobby loves playing out there. Big Germ. This is going to be the first time we're going to see him on the West Coast. I think he's ready to go. I mean, obviously he's got the arsenal. I mean, we're talking about all of the best players in the world. You know, anyone could finish anywhere, but that's just how I thought I was going to see things shake out. So I'm excited to see what happens.
Paul, did you use the website to make these picks? Did you? Okay, so that is you. Okay, I was just making sure. All right, so second place currently, myself at 9 points. I'll give you my picks. I too went with Nico to win.
Yep.
Start out with. Second place though, I picked moving on up in the world, Simon Lizotte. Those are pretty bigger open courses, correct?
Well, they're different this year.
Correct. They're not the same, but they're longer and open.
I don't know if that's what I would say. I mean, I know they're on a ball golf course.
It doesn't matter.
They are open.
Okay. It doesn't matter. I picked Simon to take second.
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
I got faith in him. He's a
that's
good.
Fine.
He's a young up and comer good kid.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Third place, I went with Philo.
Okay.
I think Philo is going to continue his hot play, followed up by Jeremy Coling. I got Coling taken fourth this week.
All right. Fair enough.
All right, Uli, your picks.
Well, before I made my picks, I actually did a little research. I checked the courses out. I checked the weather for the weekend. Went a little above and beyond.
Yeah, you should. It's your segment.
Yeah. You're supposed to be with me.
The courses are long. Lots of OB. In first place, Nico Castro.
Interesting.
Like you guys said, he's played good there in the past. He's been living in California over the winter, playing a few tournaments and running a few tournaments, and he's finishing quite well, I think, with maybe all wins, maybe 1 second.
So that's going to be a wash. All three of us picked Nico to win. So regardless of what happens, we're pushing there.
Okay.
Second place, I picked Steve Rico. I know that he's played well there in the past for sure.
Okay.
And all around, probably one of the more consistent players on the tour. 3 different courses. I like Steve Rico.
Are you sure? I don't think.
Is he on the list still?
No, I don't think Rico. Did you? If this is you, I think you picked Simon.
Yeah, we don't see Steve.
No, I didn't pick Simon.
Oh, okay.
Then somebody infiltrated our system. We're gonna just log them new ones for Johnny.
That's fine. We're good there.
Or log new ones.
Because I don't see Rico even on the list here, so that's all right.
I'm pretty sure I checked it. I made it last week.
Gentlemen's Club Classic. I do not see Steve currently on the pre-reg list. His PG number is 4666. I do not see him on there.
That's going to be a tough win.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough one for you.
Quite a magical win at that.
Well,
all right.
All right, we'll give you a pass.
We'll come back to second place. Let's go. Who did you pick for third place?
Third place is Jeremy Coling.
All right.
Followed by Kayla Viska.
Yep.
In fourth place.
Okay. Now,
I still think Rico's going to get second, even though he's not there.
Even though he could. He's one of those guys that regardless of whether he plays or not, you know what? He'll probably make in Vegas just as much as the second place winner makes, but not on the course.
Yeah. So
I'm actually looking it up.
No, that's fair. We'll go ahead.
Yeah, that's fair. We'll give you a second here. But yeah, so there's
we do not currently see him on the pre-reg.
Yeah, there's 76 people pre-regged. I have it sorted by rating, and I'm all the way down to 1,000 rated Jeff Bennett, and I do not see anybody. As Eric Ramirez says, Rico can win from the parking lot. Good. Maybe you meant Bamba.
Excuse me.
No.
Bamba's playing.
I don't think I meant Bamba.
Okay.
Oh man.
Well, if you want to slightly adjust your picks, we can allow it this one time.
That's what we're here for. You know, this is a friendly competition.
Yep.
We will we'll friendly crush you if you pick Rico.
Wow.
Well, so you went bold. I'm going to call him out. You went bold. There's I didn't put Kale fourth.
No. And I didn't, simply because he's coming from the north. I don't know if he's played a lot over the winter, so going into these courses, I don't know how warmed up he's going to be. Now, I'd happily pick him fourth for the Memorial.
Okay.
I don't know if I will, but
you could.
If this were the field next week, I think I'd be all right. But that's why I avoided Kale, so to speak.
Okay.
I got him fifth. You just don't see it.
I know
All
Kale.
right.
I know.
Well, I'm going to bump all those guys up one place, and
Okay.
I'm adding Matt Oram fourth.
Ooh.
All right, Matty O.
Matty O, PGA number 18330. He's a 1016 rated player. Now, Matty O's been playing a lot down south, correct?
I don't know if he's been playing a lot, but he's been around a long time. He's one of those players that can get hot at any tournament. He could finish, down in 20th, or he could easily win the tournament, and I think everybody on tour knows that. So he's got a lot of respect on the tour.
Roll Tide, as he'll tell you.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll Tide.
That's what he'll tell you. So you're getting called out on the board. Simon Lazat says, "Why does Paul never pick me?" with a sad, frowny, upset face.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would probably watch your back from about 600 feet.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so not, See, you're already making enemies. We knew that, yes, this segment's doing exactly what we
This is
thought
what
it
we
would.
planned.
I'm just saying, Eagles stays healthy last weekend, and my picks really aren't that bad. It bumps Simon out of the top four, and it's a different ballgame, folks. So
I agree.
Okay.
I don't think Simon proved enough last week. I mean, his last round wasn't up to standards.
Okay.
And I'm looking at people that are just rolling in on a hot streak, roll tiding in on a hot streak.
All right, fair enough.
That's what we're here for.
All right. There's a lot of comments coming in from that, so this is great. All right, Paul. Real quick, give us when are we going to see you? When am I going to see you down at the Memorial? You're not going to be at Vegas yourself, so
No, I decided not to go there.
and that's just sheer preparation, keeping your body loose, relaxed, rested up. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I mean they changed the layout. I really loved Sunset Park, and they changed it to 3 different courses. And I would have to go learn those courses. And then 2 days late, and they changed it to a 4-day event also, which is different from the past, which means that 2 days later I would have to come here, play the Memorial. So it's just really jam-packed, and I don't think that would be in my best interest.
Okay, and then Kat, I'm assuming, is following suit. You guys typically travel together. She's not going up there. Okay.
Now I'm really looking forward to next week's picks, because that's when we're getting into some of the bigger events. We're going to go with the Memorial, and then after that, the World Tour La Mirada stop. Both of which our esteemed colleague Paul is playing in. So I'm really looking forward to your picks next week.
So I'm gonna have to look you in the face prior to those events and tell you where I think you're going to finish.
I can turn off Skype if it makes you feel better.
It'll make me
just close down the video so you don't have to look at him when you know.
Make me a little more comfortable. Like, can you shut up? Yeah, that's a good idea. All right, Yuli. Well, we're gonna let you go. We appreciate the picks. As we said earlier, we're gonna find a way to expand this to get more people included. There's a lot of excitement out there, and people already chimed in saying they loved it last week when we kind of debuted it. And then this week, people are saying, it's one of their favorite parts so far. So we're going to keep rolling with it, and we're really excited. So thanks for bringing it to us, buddy.
Everybody make your own picks, plaster them over Terry's wall. All of his Facebooks, his home Facebook. I'll just litter his Facebook with pics.
You can do that, or if you'd like to play along, I did create a page out there, smashbox.tv/picks. If you just go to the website, it's up in the menu bar called Picks. Go up there, put in your picks. I'll kind of keep track of everything. I'm not going to make a lot of announcements, maybe updates once in a while as to what the viewers are doing, but overall, this is just going to be the three of us kind of segment.
Exactly, and it may slowly expand to other things. But if you want to play along, you're more than welcome to. All right, Paul.
On Terry's wall.
And Terry's wall. Terry's wall is a legitimate place to post all your picks.
No, I don't.
Everything.
Any one of Terry's Facebook pages.
Yeah, no, I don't need that. All right, we're going to
share it on Terry's wall.
Yep.
No. All right, that's enough. Out of you. Can you cut this guy already?
All right. Thanks a lot, Paul.
We'll see you in a few days. All right. And Eric Ramirez here is on the board. He's chimed in, letting us know his picks. Again, we'll keep... You can enter them into the spreadsheet. What we're going to do with them just yet, we don't know. So we're not making any promises just yet. But this is going to grow and this is going to expand, and we're looking forward to doing more with it.
I think what I'll do is I'll maybe make some updates on our Facebook page, and maybe it's good after show fodder. We can kind of talk about some of that during the after show, because I don't think most of our listeners, if they're not participating, are going to really care about all the viewers' picks. So
I don't know. Should I just start reading what everybody's putting in?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. So one of the comments also that was just made on the board is that Paul was announced on the PDGA website as having the most ever points in PDGA history.
Yeah, we need to. I mean, that segment's dedicated more towards Uli's picks.
Yeah.
But we do need to sit down and have a conversation with him, because somebody did bring up, your foot fault video and his newest little accomplishment from the PDGA. The overall number of points is a big deal. So it's very cool.
All right. Well, what else do we got here lined up for tonight, or are we going to move into the news, the other news and information?
We'll keep moving on to the news until we can get Dana on the line. We'll kind of catch up with him and find out what he's been up to.
Okay.
Let's see here.
You can do that. So I'm going to lead with a few other notes that we've seen. We just talked about the Disc Golf World Tour, or mentioned it, I should say. Speaking of tours, I saw a few announcements. Let's start with the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Okay.
Today, they announced that Night Eyes is going to be another supporting sponsor and collaborate, of course, with the tour. I'd like to thank Dave Weisblum, who I spent a few days with here in Milwaukee just a few days ago. He was here for a show, all part of Night Eyes, and then I know him and some of his other team had worked with Steve Dodge in the Pro Tour. So I would like to welcome them and thank them for being part of it and supporting. And they've done so much in terms of getting on board with disc golf, supporting. You usually see them at the Worlds and at a number of other places supporting disc golf. They've come up with their own discs that light up. There's going to be glow-in-the-dark at the Pro Tour stops, glow light up discs and competitions at each of the Pro Tour stops.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks to Night Eyes. So that's something they're doing. They have a ton of different products that are useful to disc golfers and beyond. And had I thought of it, I would have brought some to give away here tonight. Maybe we can do that next week or in a few weeks. But Dave from Night Eyes is amazing. He's a great guy. Also, he was also the one gentleman ever to be heard snoring on a Smashbox TV podcast.
That's true. When you broadcast from the hotel room
when I was with him last year at the hotel room, he was sawing some logs. So we saw that being added, and then we also saw on the Pro Tour.
I was saying, sticking with the Pro Tour, we've got the Pro Tour released their power rankings.
Power rankings.
Now, what they did is clearly
different.
No. I mean, it's all the power rankings, World Tour rankings, the World Tour rankings, the PDGA World rankings, whatever. They're all done differently. So, but you know what they all have in common?
Ratings.
Paul Macbeth #1.
Oh.
So the way the Disc Golf Pro Tour, they made an entire post about how they're doing this. What they're saying is that they're not weighting any particular events. They're saying a quality event, which is what you need to do to get the Pro Tour points, is any player or any event with I don't think there's even a certain amount, with enough players rated over 999. So 999.
Mm-hmm.
For every person you beat, you get a point. For every person you lose to, you lose a point. Pretty simple stuff.
Oh, okay.
Paul Macbeth last year lost 6 points. Last year, 6 points. He had the next closest to him, fairly certain, was Ricky Wysocki. Followed up by Will Schustrick, or maybe that's vice versa. Those are the top three. Paul #1, and then
Did you do your research like Yuli just said he did his?
Yeah.
Not knowing what he's talking about.
What he's talking about.
I know I could have swore it was Schustrick second.
Was Schustrick second?
No, I don't know. I'm just making stuff up. Yes, Will
Schustrick,
was
then Ricky
second,
Wysocki.
and then Ricky Wysocki. And then a name that you may not see, and this perfectly leads to the point that you're talking about, is Cameron Colglazer, where a lot of people may say, well, we didn't see as much out of him, or he wasn't at certain events or whatever. Well, with the math that you just discussed, Cameron Colglazer actually finds himself in 4th place on the Disc Golf Pro Tour Power Rankings. So.
Yeah, and you don't see, it just goes to show you when he does play, he plays very well. So
exactly. Well, someone who knows all about stats, numbers, rankings, Pro Tours, and curly hair. Welcome, Dana Vikich. Dynamite, how we doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. What's going on, boys?
Well, I think we should start with Happy Birthday to you. Happy birthday.
I got this one instead.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
All right, that's all I got.
There you go. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, boys. I appreciate it.
32 revolutions around the sun. Is that what that is?
Yep, 1984. I 6 short days away from being born on February 29th, 1984. That would have been kind of cool, but here we are, February 23rd. Not as cool as leap year day.
My wife's grandmother is a leap year baby, so she's no longer with us, but yeah, she was like 20-some when she died, technically. So
yeah,
or 19 or something like that. So
all right, and the number 1 movie in 1984, Dana, for $64,000. What is it?
I have 0 clue.
I'll give you a hint. How about Bananas in a Tailpipe?
Banana in the tailpipe? Put a banana in the tailpipe.
Beverly Hills Cop. All right.
Number 1,
1984 in the box offices. All right, let's get down to business. You heard us, maybe you heard us do a little razzing with Yuli, talked about his picks, talked about how things turned out over at Wintertime. Do you want to start there, or do you have any other events that you'd like to talk about with us?
Let's talk about the Wintertime.
Okay.
And speaking of razzing, I don't know if anyone noticed on social media, I'm taking blame for Eagle getting hurt. I'm talking about Eagle McMahon. He was in contention going into the second day of the Wintertime Open, 1 stroke behind Paul Macbeth. And young Eagle, he unfortunately smashed his finger on his index finger on his throwing hand. I don't know how much you guys got into it earlier, but
we talked briefly about it.
Yep.
Yeah. But anyways, I was razzing you guys. I said, you guys dogging Eagle. No one picked him. But yeah, and then shortly after, word spread that he smashed his finger.
Premonition.
Yeah, I think it was 48 minutes later. You made the post giving us a hard time about not picking him. And then 48 minutes later, I noticed Eagle has withdrawn from the tournament.
That is a very short time to have to eat your words.
I know. I wish that could have been.
Yeah, but I did, before I get into the results, I did get up with Eagle on Sunday after he got out of the hospital. And he actually came and played a round of golf with us, left-handed. And he's really good. Like, he was already, like, I don't know how much lefty he's thrown before Sunday, but he was already throwing like 350, almost. Like, give him another round. We played like a long stretch out 9 holes, and he was trying to throw rollers, smashing. His form was cleaner than mine.
So here's a question: do you think he could win the advanced division left-handed?
No, because he has to putt. And his putting was horrendous left-handed. But
yeah,
again, I'm sure give him a week or so, and he would be hitting some putts. But I wouldn't be surprised if we do see Eagle later this year using left hand out on the course. I know we've seen Nico Locastro in the past. Trying to think of a few other people who switch hit. Phil Arthur used to, but I could definitely see Eagle going to the left, lefty hyzer. But his forehand, I don't know if you guys caught the video of him that he put out the other day, but his forehand.
His vlog.
No, it was like a duel between him and Eric Oakley from Discmania. But
Okay, yeah.
Eagle's forehand was very improved. So, anyways, enough of Eagle, but keep an eye out for him. I think if you thought last year was a breakout year, I think this year you're really gonna be seeing him up at the top, battling it out. But the Wintertime Open, Paul Macbeth just absolutely crushed. He didn't really, other than Eagle, and we know how that ended up. But Paul ended up winning by 9 throws over Steve Rico. Philo Brathwaite finished in 3rd place, and then Simon, he came out of Germany firing. He posted a 10:45 rated first round, but then after that did not do too much. And I talked to Simon the other day, and he said Paul might not lose this year.
Wow.
That's a lot from coming from another competitor like Simon. I mean, Paul posted a video shortly after the event that night of him putting over his pool, and I think it was too dark to see him crying over the 2 putts he missed or something, the 2 inside the circle, because he said, I didn't putt well inside the circle. And I'm thinking, did you miss 2?
Yeah.
Maybe 3? I don't. I mean, good for him. He's kicking. He's definitely going to come out of the gates kicking some of the other pros' butts. So
yeah, well, and as thanks to our pals over at Central Coast, they were out there doing some filming this weekend, and they were actually able to capture the 3 out of 4 Eagle 3 out of 4 Eagle successes that he had on the long hole that they posted about. And they also caught a Kyle Ekman forehand ace, just like we did.
Yeah, I missed that. Yeah, we caught one too
during our first ever live broadcast. But yeah, just showing Paul making those putts from 80 or 100 feet or whatever it was. So it's kind of funny for him to say, well, I maybe didn't putt so well inside the circle, yet on this one particular hole, he was outside 50 feet for 3 consecutive rounds, or 3 out of 4 rounds, and was still able to convert on it. That's some pretty solid. That's definitely bonus material. Yeah,
if it's a sign of things to come for this year, because we know he's going to make the putts inside the circle if his range is jumping out there. But it's going to be exciting to watch.
It certainly is.
Yeah. Now on the ladies' side, our friend at Whale Sacks, Tina, she took down the victory, and she shot well. Her rating is 808. She shot 850, 873, 885, and won by 1 throw over the veteran Suzette Simmons. So good shooting, Tina. What's up with those whale sacks, Terry? That people spotting them in your videos or what?
They have been. We're going to keep that rolling too. Tina's been an awesome supporter.
Nice.
And so look for more whale sack logos in upcoming video blogs. But huge shout out to Tina. What an exciting moment for her. She hasn't been playing that long. I know we talked a few months ago while I was in Arizona about where she's playing, where she thinks her game is at, the disc she's throwing, and it all came together for her this last weekend. I mean, there were 5 or 6 women at the event. Dana, does that sound about right?
No, there's 4.
Oh, okay, 4 women. But as you said, a veteran in Suzette Simons. Aaron Oakley was out.
Aaron White and Amanda Rose.
Yep. Okay, yep. So great for her. Congratulations, Tina. That's awesome. So
yeah,
more whale sacks for everybody.
Yeah, I actually picked up. I bought a couple. I'm a big fan. I was always a big fan of birdie bags and stuff, but the whale sack sounds interesting. It's cooler to say than a birdie bag. I got a whale sack, so yeah. I picked up a few. I'll let you guys know how they work for me.
Sweet. I think they're awesome. All right, what else did you find out there in the field? This is a B tier. I think that's one thing worth mentioning, and I think Macbeth even said he was going to be watching tonight, but this is probably the only B tier. We'll see Paul Macbeth play. He may dip into one throughout the year.
Sure.
But it's so historic. It's out at Oak Grove. I mean, there's so many things going on about it. Have you talked to anyone about the feeling, why this is such a big, successful event? Is the timing just part of it? What makes this such a successful and historic event, Dana?
Well, this was the 38th year of it, correct? So I mean,
right.
it's at Oak Grove, one of the first, if not the first, disc golf course ever. So I mean, it's ran by the same guy's been running the event for the whole history of the event. So yeah, I mean, there's a ton of California players. So I think all of that adds up for it adds up to for success. It's easy.
Well, and it's always positioned just as the year really gets its swing going. We see a lot of people out there. It's not that far of a drive to get over to Vegas, and then obviously Vegas to Memorial and so on. All right. Any other stats or results that you found out there that stuck out for you?
My good buddy Henry Childress out on the East Coast in Charlotte, he ran a tournament at the Ballantine Hotel. It's the Ballantine Hotel Open presented by Innova, but it was at a really nice golf course. The event filled well ahead of time, 72 players. We had some really good players show up: Barry Schultz, Dollar, Chris Dickerson, Austin Turner. But at the end of the day, the veteran Barry Schultz held it down over everybody else. Chris Dickerson got second. I believe Chris played an event the day before and won. He's continuing his huge success from last year, his rookie of the year. So this is his sophomore season, proving it was not a fluke. He got second to Barry, won the day before. Austin Turner and Matt Dollar tied for third place. Debbie Scott took down the ladies division, and Hall of Famer Stan McDaniel won on the Masters side. But pictures looked really cool. I heard there's going to be some video, and it sounded like it was a really good success, and this particular golf course would like them to come back.
That's great. It's always good when we get a foothold into golf courses. I mean, especially down south where the weather is warmer almost year-round. Up here, sometimes we can get on them in the winter when things are frozen, but come summer, it's a lot tougher for us to grab them.
And one thing in talking to some of our photographers and friends, mutual friends down there, and Kyle Dolzer and Nikki, they were out doing some photography for that event. And an interesting point that he had brought up and said there were 4 different, if you look at that finishing card, there's 4 different manufacturers represented there. And that's new. That's interesting. We don't see that happening as much. 4 different manufacturers represented there, and I thought that was an interesting point. But like you said, the wily old veteran, Wisconsin homeboy, Barry Schultz, doing what he does. Now, Schultz, this is also worth noting, Schultz had absolutely owned the Vegas event, the Gentlemen's Club Challenge, for many years. Yep. I mean, almost every time he showed up, he was winning it or finishing, second or whatever, and then, moving into the Memorial. But we're not seeing him leave that region too much anymore. And I think that's because just economically it makes way more sense for him to play in one of the 300 Chuck Conley, Spike Heiser events or one of the other events.
Can we call it, I was going to say, can we call it pulling a Bradley Williams, where Bradley just kind of dominated the Texas area because there's an event almost every week, and Barry's doing the same thing over on the East Coast.
If you're playing the sheer economics of getting disc golf rich, that seems to make sense.
Yeah, so. I mean, Barry, first place, he took home 500. He's going to have a bonus from Innova and whomever else he's connected with. So that's a one day event right there. He could, he might have played. I don't know. I don't think he played on Saturday. But hey, why not? Sleep in your own bed. Be back in your own bed that night, and on with your week. You don't have to worry about the travel and the gas and the hotels. So
exactly. What else do you got for us, Dana?
That's about it. I really didn't do any research. I've been
you've been busy.
Super busy.
We saw some pictures. You're actually out in California, not playing a disc golf event. What are you doing out there?
Out right now. I'm in Rancho Cucamonga.
Is there anything that happens there?
Yeah, this is a home of Innova and Discmania and now Disc Golf Park. The Disc Golf Park headquarters are out here, and that's why I'm here. Flew in on Sunday. We had training yesterday and today, and flying back home tomorrow morning.
All right. So you've been out there. I know you saw Simon Lazada, as you said, at one point.
Yeah.
And then a particular 2009 world champion was also hanging out there as part of the disc golf park crew. Is he around? What's he out doing? Lifting weights right now?
No, we're actually at a rec center, and we got a ping pong table inside of a volleyball court. So they're all playing ping pong in there, and I'm going to send him a message. Tell him
he's picking on little kids.
Say hi.
That's what you're saying. He's picking on little kids. He's like, guess what? I'm older and bigger. You know?
Well, no. Hey, guys, he's huge, and I'm not talking like overweight. Like I'm talking like I'm pretty sure he bulked up big time, and yeah, Avery's a beast.
Yeah, he wants to look good on camera.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to come down. He's going to do the Disc Golf World Tour commentary shirtless, isn't he? I think. That's...
Hey, I just so you guys know, I got a team of Pee Wee basketball players coming by here in a second. So if you hear dribbling, that's what's going on.
Yeah, after Avery's probably beat them all, he's like, "You got nothing on me, shorty."
All right, so you're saying he's not available right now? Is that what you're telling us?
I just sent him a text to tell him to come over. So
right.
He's got his phone on him, but
so
yeah. Otherwise,
I was gonna say, well, let's talk real quick about the other thing that was in the news was the Paul Macbeth interview that he did with the LA Times, I believe it was, where some would say shots fired. I'm going to turn down your volume for a little bit. And Paul basically called out a few of the other pros. At least that's what the article made it sound like. I don't know how accurate the article is. I don't know if he was taken out of context, but the things that were said was that he doesn't necessarily get along with Will. And that if it gets close, he more or less has Ricky. That Ricky can't seem to win in close battles. Or I'm sorry, not Ricky. Yeah, Ricky.
Yeah.
So now, what are your thoughts on that, Dana?
Well, I mean, it's for those of us who've been paying attention. It's really not news. He's just more. He talked about on Smashbox about keeping it close with Ricky, and that's the best way to beat him is to keep it close, and then. I'm almost positive he's more or less said that him and Will, they're not really friends. So essentially, that's what was said in the newspaper. Yep. And I did see Paul, but I did not talk to him about it or ask him about the authenticity of the quotes. But it's more or less what he said over the past year, and. Said on Smashbox, right?
Yeah, he's said more or less similar things of that nature. I just thought it was interesting that it was out in a major publication, and then on top of that, it got a lot of traction on social media.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know if it's it's we'll have to ask Paul about that, what his thoughts were, and maybe if it's not private, we can share it on Smashbox, but I don't have that answer.
Well, I'll chime in a little bit because I did reach out to him shortly thereafter the article was released, and I kind of went along with what everyone else was wondering was there something there that was taken out of context? And he said, well, certainly in that he had just got done applauding both Ricky and Will in their games, and saying that, they're obviously his fiercest and closest competitors. He had said something exactly along those lines. And he had also reached out to Ricky at one point, and Ricky was more than fine with, seeing more exposure for disc golf. We know we've been talking about Ricky's social media presence, but, he said that that's perfectly fine, and more exposure is good exposure.
And is there I don't want to say gamesmanship, that's not the right word. That's completely not the right word. Could this actually help disc golf? Show that there's these, to the outside world, that there's these rivalries, that there's these things going on in our sport that you might not see in other sports. You don't usually see in other sports players call out individual players. A little bit in basketball, but you never see it in baseball. You never see it in really football.
I think you do.
Not nearly to the extent of, what was portrayed in the article. I don't think it's less. A lot of people say it's less professional and this and that, but it tends to be, as they say, locker room fodder, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about it right now, both players, they have their fans, and they've got all these, people across the country that I'm a Will fan, I'm a Nico fan, I'm a Rick fan, I'm a Paul fan. It's cool that we're really starting to see that come out, and this is going to help bring that out even more. It's going to make more people dislike Will. You saw a lot of, or not Will, excuse me, but Paul. I saw a lot of backlash about how he shouldn't have done that. And,
Sure.
I'm a Rick fan, or I'm a Will fan. So right off the top of my head, thinking about that, it's gonna inside of the sport, the fans that we have now, the disc golfers we have now, that's gonna make those rivalries more fierce. And maybe, I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. But with the World Tour and the Pro Tour and more play, with the Pro Tour, it's going to help sustain more players on tour. So I'm going to go to these places, and I'm going to meet more people and hopefully get some new fans. Or Eagle McMahon, is going to go out to the East Coast and meet all these people, and all of a sudden Eagle's going to have fans, and it's
Sure.
all these players are going to gain their following, meet these local communities where in their courses. It's good, and I'm kind of rambling here, but
No, that's
I think we're good.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I was just gonna say, to wrap that all up, it proves that these guys know each other. They're fierce competitors, and every single weekend there's gonna be a battle. There's
I have a funny story about Jamie Thomas.
they're all funny.
They're all funny. It was about a week ago, and I didn't tell Terry this at all. I woke up and I had a dream, and Jamie Thomas was in it, where we were coming up with a new competition. It was a mixture between frisbee and diving, where, I don't understand either, but basically someone would throw a disc, and you'd have to run, jump on a diving board, do some sort of dive, but you'd have to catch the frisbee as well.
Wow.
And you were scored.
Hold on, time out.
Okay.
This sounds like after show material.
It might be a little bit. It just reminded me when I saw Jamie there. It was kind of funny. I don't understand where it came from. I woke up and I kind of laughed. I told my wife, and she just looked at me like I was a nutcase, much like the way you're looking at me now.
Hey, that's fine. If Jamie can do commentary for the Disc Golf World Tour, and then he can step inside the Smash Box and do commentary here, I'll go relax on a beach somewhere.
I'm good with that.
I mean, if you're trying to replace me,
I'm not.
Good for you. Go for it.
It was.
Go jump off a diving board, a short one, into an empty pool already.
Oh, that's not nice.
Ouch. Anyway, all right, Dana, you got any other special guests to pass us off to, or we're gonna let you go for the night?
Well, if you guys want to stall for a second, I just saw Avery walk down the hall. I think he may have gone to the restroom. So is there anything else you
Just
guys
follow
want
him
to
in
talk about? Not going there.
Let's do a quick on the spot interview. What you doing, Avery?
Yep.
Hey, Ave, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
So you've been out there training. You've been working on disc golf course design, obviously with Disc Golf Park. How many people were part of that crew? I mean, we saw UC posting pictures. Look like 6, 8, 10 employees or so, roughly.
Yeah, we're right around 10 total, I think, with management, with Erno, Austin, UC, Chris Finn.
Yep.
Is in town. He does Disc Golf Park in Australia. He talked to us and gave us a lecture, and brought up a lot of good points. Because we're not only just learning about designing courses, but talking about sales tactics and how to approach Parks and Rec, golf courses, et cetera. And he provided some really good insight. He's a successful business person, so it was nice to hear what he had to say. And then it was just overall, we learned about sales tactics, and of course talked a lot about design and all that. But even though I've designed a number of courses and all that, I still learned a lot and felt like I'm going to come out of this better, especially learning about sales, because I'm new to doing that.
No, I don't want you to spoil the whole thing, but can you point out one thing in particular that maybe you picked up, seeing as how you have designed a couple courses or quite a few? that maybe you could share with some of the other users, some of the audio listeners, as to what they're going to do if maybe they are in the position to help design a course?
My suggestion, which would be the same as coming in before this training, is safety. You can't put a, no matter how cool a hole it's going to be, if it's not going to be safe, you really should not do it. You have to think about the general public, and then you got to keep in mind we're designing courses not just for current disc golfers, but future disc golfers, beginner disc golfers, people that have never played the sport. And you want to be able to design a course that is safe, first and foremost, but can serve, not all courses, we're not just talking about designing gold level par 60 something courses. We're talking about all the way from the short school style courses, to the championship caliber style course. So, but safety is obviously when we're putting courses in city parks and multi-use areas. Now for like myself, it's really coming into play now that I have a daughter, I have a kid, and I want to go out and push around in the stroller and play around the disc golf. And I can't go to a lot of courses because, one, it's unsafe for me as a disc golfer with unsafe holes, and then
any park in Joliet.
Yeah, yeah. But then you got to think about we got to think about the general public as well. So if anyone's looking at designing a course, just even if it's not Disc Golf Park, or if it's somebody, Eric McCabe or Terry, you've designed a ton of courses. Consult somebody, bring someone in, put your pride to the side, and let someone that has a little more experience take the reins.
All right. Well, we're not going to give you. I'm going to put you on the spot real quick before we let you go, and they're unofficial still. But give us your quick 4 picks for Vegas and how you see that shaking out.
Oh man, I need to look at the schedule, but I would say I like Simon Lizotte, Nico. Or wait, am I going in order? Like my one?
If you can rattle them off.
How about this? Just rattle off about top 4. Okay. You can go to smashbox.tv/picks and put in your picks.
I got it. It's Kale LaVisca in the 1 spot, Nico in the 2, Simon in the 3, and I am going to go Matt Bell 4.
All right.
Nice.
Very different
Matt,
from
Matt Bell
and Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, I put Simon up there.
As did I, but we Yuli stiffed him again, kept him out of the top 4. So, All right, your unofficial picks, very nice. Now Kale's going to be there.
Yes.
Like there.
Like he says he's going to be there.
He's on the list.
I'm led to believe that Kale will in fact be there, and I'm hoping Kale's going to be out there a lot more this year because he's such a good player and he can win national tours. He could compete for the majors. I just hope he's out there more. But he's got a lot going on. Especially running the Majestic, helping with the Pro Tour. Airborne, and design. He's designing a lot of courses. He's doing so many different things, and it's impossible to be out there on the road and continue to do those things. So he's being, a little selfless and, taking care of things at home, and running a Pro Tour event for a lot of people to enjoy. And
and he needs to avoid squirrels.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or chipmunks. Was it a chipmunk that got him in the lip? I don't know.
It was a squirrel, and it was
woodland creatures. Kale should avoid any woodland creatures.
It was a poor choice, and I think he learned his lesson.
Well, our pal Zach Ladwig has the Kale tracker, which put him just in Colorado Springs yesterday.
Yeah.
So if you got your Kale tracker, that bodes well for you, Dana. That
I don't know. He could all of a sudden decide to stay in Colorado and go skiing for a week.
Exactly, and that's why. Any side bets as to if he's going to be there or not?
I think he will.
I've got him winning the tournament. He's going to be there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well,
you're my boy, Cal.
All right.
Don't let me down. Better show up and win.
And you iced Big germ. Ouch.
Oh, sorry, Germ.
Iced.
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend. Okay.
All right, this isn't. We're not doing Dana's picks.
I know. That's why I said okay. We'll leave it
like
there.
I said, Dana can go out to the website like
Yep.
every other player,
Yep.
and we'll keep track of Dana's score.
Okay. Let's move on. See ya. It's been fun.
Is Avery going to join us, or are we going to ditch you?
You're ditching me.
All right, cool.
Later.
All right, thanks, Dana.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. Yep.
Hope we have 365 more great days till next year.
Is it snowing yet at home?
Shut it.
All right, Dana, celebrating his birthday. We appreciate him taking a few minutes out of his time to join us here on the show at Smashbox. Smashbox birthdays. I like that idea.
You said it was like episode 3
It was
or
later
4.
than that. Way later than
Anyway, that you were going to wish people happy birthday every week.
Yeah.
And I said,
And I've done that quite a bit.
you said you were going to, yeah.
I didn't say I was going to do it every week.
You kind of did.
I've done that. Anyway.
We've wished some people. Anyway. Anyway.
Yeah, see, you say that. Just yesterday, our good friend and cameraman, Gary to the O, celebrated a birthday a couple days ago. So thank you. Happy birthday, Gary. We're looking forward to having you in Arizona as well. All right, let's move on to a final few pieces of news so we can wrap this up.
All right, so I've got one more piece of news.
Sure you do.
It looks like Discraft is doing something what they're calling the Discraft Test Flight Series. And it looks like they're re-releasing the OOP, or the out of production, and rare discs, that they're rerunning some of them. They are, I know they've got the Talon, which they have re-released, and I think you can go out to the store, the Discraft store, and get them. So is that something you see? Now there's value, not particularly for these two models that they've released. I forget what the other one is. But do you see value in that? As far as people going out now, I'm like, oh, I can finally get a Talon again.
Yeah,
or
certainly.
Stalker or other discs that they've stopped. Or is that going to push up values of the older plastic? Or,
it all depends.
Are we going to get the re-released version?
Well, and that's just it. And I'm going to use an example that's near and dear to me in that in the mid-90s, around 94-ish to roughly 98-ish, give or take a few
The
months.
Reaper is the other one.
Innova, for instance, had run what was their only rock at the time, an Ontario rock.
No, their only rock?
Yeah, that was literally their only rock at the time. And it was only one plastic. There was a day before CE, before Champion, before Opto, before Fusion, before any of those other plastics.
There was Glow.
There was but it was still DX Glow.
I know, I'm just teasing.
And so around 2005, they said, well, we've got this mold. We're going to rerun Ontario rocks. Mm-hmm. Some people like myself got somewhat excited, but two things that came to mind. One, I was worried about any kind of value, although mine didn't have much value, but because they weren't that popular at the time, but I was worried about value. Mm-hmm. And two, if they were going to fly the exact same and feel the same. Plastics changed. Yeah. Even DX plastic, there's a pretty distinct difference between DX plastic from 1995 to the DX plastic I then felt in 2005 or 2007 or whenever it was. So there may be some excitement. There may not be. Obviously, if you're really, really particular to a mold, last week we talked to Nate Doss, who had thrown a Z-Hawk.
Yeah. Who still has an XL in his bag?
Who still has an XL. Those aren't exactly the number one sellers that Discraft has made. They're not today number one sellers.
Sure.
They may have been of yesteryear. So it gives those people an opportunity that were really passionate about a disc. Maybe it gives them now their chance to go out and restock on whatever that disc is.
So you used to be sponsored by Discraft.
Way back in the day.
Way back in the day.
Yep.
If you could see one, for you personally, if you could see one Discraft mold re-released, what do you think it would be?
It's still in production, so I can't say too much to it, but I was a big fan of the Comet.
As am
now, same thing that I just said about plastics, though. The Comets that were made of that plastic and consistency and that feel of the mid to late 90s feels very different than the plastic I get today.
They feel very different. I think they fly pretty close, though.
They may, but the plastic, a lot of people talk, especially when you think of a Comet, like chalky.
Yeah, those old chalky Comets are great for inclement weather.
Exactly.
Rain and stuff like that. They hold I have a hard time throwing a Z Comet if it's wet by any measure. They don't.
So I can't say that there's specifically a mold I would bring back.
Okay.
I mean, I could get all old school on you guys, and I can't wait for the Typhoon.
The Eclipse.
The Eclipse, yeah, or the Tracer, some of my first ever discs.
I've got one hanging up behind this
But no.
somewhere. So there's nothing. Okay. I don't know. I was thinking maybe something along the lines of a lot of people really like the MRX.
Sure.
Or the MRV. I would love to see a re-release of the MRX. It was a nice, stable disc. We have a friend of ours who was a huge fan of the Z Putter. So I would love to see them maybe 2 or 3 discs a year re-release a set like that. Like, oh, we're going to do a run of 50 Z putters or 100 or 200, whatever they're doing,
or thousands, but
thousands or whatever. I know, just and re-release maybe 1 or 2 old pieces of
You
plastic.
could be waiting around for a long time, but yeah,
you could, but I mean, every year it'd be something kind of cool, like, oh, what are they going to do this year, or maybe in different plastic. So,
and some manufacturers, I know you're specifically talking about Discraft. Some manufacturers may not have those capabilities. The molds physically break down after a certain point. You can get so many runs, injections into a mold, and then after so many millions or hundreds of thousands, the actual mold will break down, and that's why sometimes you see new molds or a variance in a mold. So that may not be entirely possible, but we'll see if it happens.
a lot of people were a big fan of Discraft Storm.
Sure.
I gave away my last 2 to our good friend Don Loper.
Yes, huge smashy. When you're a big smashy, you get old plastic from us.
You do.
Sometimes. So, yeah, very interesting to see. And other companies, like I said, may follow suit. Really, Innova is the other older company.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to see.
I was saying maybe a Gateway or a Whammo, but Whammo's kind of out of, they're out of most people's sights.
Maybe
and
Lightning
minds.
will bring back some of the
Lightning. I want a
molds.
#1 roller.
We may see some of those. All right. One of the things that I wanted to take note of, I was talking about tours. We saw that the Disc Golf World Tour had, as we said, Chris Finn doing some apparel fitting and some photo shoot with Paul Macbeth.
Yeah.
We saw that happening out there, and they're gearing up. They're excited. Of course, everyone's talking about the Memorial right now, but immediately following it is the opening of the World Tour, and we're excited to see it as well. One thing I did note on the American Disc Golf Tour, there's some news out of there. Well, indirectly. Chris Kilgus, who we have referenced a couple different times on the show in a number of different ways, he made a post on his personal page, and to me that's kind of an extension of still the tour, the American tour.
Expand on who Chris Kilgus is for those.
Chris
for our listeners.
Kilgus, I believe, is in fact one of the owners, if not the sole or a co-owner in Salient Discs.
Okay.
And then he also then is one of the main guys heading up. He has a small team of people heading up the American Disc Golf Tour. And I thought it was interesting that he posted on his wall, his own personal wall, kind of calling out the PDGA and basically ripping on the PDGA, saying that the RFP, the request for proposal that was put out in terms of live streaming, he basically, I almost should use the exact words.
He heckled it.
I don't know if he called it a joke. I think he said that they should reconsider it. And then he posted what he said was one page of the multiple page document that he had to sign with being as part of being with ESPN or on ESPN.
Correct.
And here, I'll just read it. He says, the PDGA's request for proposal for live streaming events during their premier national tour is laughable for the supposed governing body of disc golf, a few of the finer points. And then he names some of the specifics from there. And then he's, says the PDGA, if you're trying to showcase the sport in a better light, you need to get more detailed and more technical. And here's what I did, and what he had to sign. And I don't know what I want to say. I took offense to it, but immediately, like so many, fair or not, other things in life, I think it's dollars and cents.
It is. And I won't. You didn't take offense, but you were a little defensive.
Maybe I was a tad defensive of it.
Now, what Chris Kilgus is saying is that, the what he had to do to get the American Tour on ESPN was light years above what the PDGA asked for from live streaming.
Correct. From any current live streaming outlet right now.
Correct. And we'll say this: it's apples and oranges, honestly, and it's not just because of the two different levels. The PDGA is out there asking people, if you want to do this live streaming, this is what you need to provide us. Minimum.
Mm-hmm.
ESPN is saying, hey, if you want to come on our multi-billion-dollar network, you need to give us this much. One is the standards body, the PDGA. The other is a outlet to push sports, ESPN. You know, I'm guessing that the PGA has something maybe slightly similar, saying they sign contracts with CBS or the Golf Channel or whomever they're dealing with. I'm sure they have agreements. But what Chris Kilgus got from ESPN is way different than what the PDGA is. And I'm not here just to back the PDGA in this particular instance. I'm just saying it's really apples and oranges.
Yeah, they are very, very different what people were looking for. And as I stated, a lot of it comes down to dollars and cents. No, we clearly, here at Smashbox, could not have fulfilled exactly what ESPN was looking for, and we don't claim to be fulfilling or putting ourselves on ESPN.
We could have fulfilled that for the right price.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I said on his wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I said, you know, you pay us what you're paying your production crew, and we could have made it happen. And then there was a jab back and forth, and then I left it as it was.
And I'll say this. Look at the price they're paying. And I don't know. I've heard anywhere from 25 to 50,000. Who knows what it is? They are giving you probably superior quality for 5 holes. 6 is what they've come out on tour saying. And I guarantee you those are going to be some great coverage like we saw at the European Open. What we filled out for the RFP was for full coverage, so many days, depending on the event, so many hours every day. Again, totally different than what he is proposing. You know, again, 2 completely different things. I don't want to sit and bash on Chris Kilgus because
no,
but he has. I think it was a slight jab at the PDGA. That's how I took it. And whether or not that's how he meant it or not, or if he's just looking like the rest of us for everybody to step their game up, that's great. But come at it from a different angle.
Yeah, I think
if that's what you're doing.
You've summarized it best by saying it's really apples to oranges, because what they were asking for and what we did and what has been asked and so on and so forth, just very different. And quite frankly, yeah, I don't even want to get into it anymore because there's just too many different ways I could go at this in continuing to talk about. But it was something, it was posted publicly, so I'm not sharing any private information here. I just thought it was an interesting take for him on, I believe, Friday night, for him to go out and make these comparisons and come up with his own take on it in that way. Clearly, it doesn't sound like he's a fan of the PDGA, which is his right prerogative, good for him, whatever. But clearly, he's, I mean... it's unfortunate and is well known. There's an area of the country, kind of down in that southeast corner, that is kind of anti-PDGA. They've got the Southern Nationals, which has always had kind of a beef, and there's always been this back and forth, and they're most of their stops aren't PDGA sanctioned, and it's been that way for years. And the Disc Golf Answer Man had a good question on it, that there was a guy who was looking to run a tournament, and he says that there's a big anti-PDGA sentiment in his area, and I think he was from the southeast. It's just, it's growing, but not the anti-PDGA segment, but the PDGA itself is growing and expanding, and some people see pros and some people don't, and it's just they're on different eyesight levels. Well, this just in, Marty Gregoire, media manager of the PDGA, he's always putting in overtime, checking us out on the podcast, says that, quote, "This is the first time anyone has ever taken a shot at us on social media."
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever taken a shot at us on social media. So,
us? I mean, we're waiting for our first one, but the PDGA, first one ever.
Once I see it.
There you go. Sorry about that. Wow. Sorry. Too bad. Anyway.
So Kyle Groff just says, who knew golfers from the South would be secessionists? I like that comment. That's very funny.
All right. So that's what we saw out there. I just wanted to bring it to light. Like you said, apples to oranges. The other thing, and I may have gone on this last year a little bit. I don't know if we want to call it a soapbox or not, but real quick, I want to interject. The courses in so many parts of our country are incredibly delicate right now.
Yeah.
All right? The spring is coming. You're excited to play. I know you are. Maybe you didn't play that much this winter. Maybe you didn't play at all because you work 9 to 5 and it's dark out. Courses in Wisconsin continue now on a daily basis to get pulled out of the ground, and people are really pissed off about it. oh my gosh, it's 50 degrees out and I can't go play my local course. I just want to say, please have patience. Please consider the rest of the year, the other 9 or 10 months out of the year when your course can look a little bit nicer. Going out during the very first,
Thaw.
40 or 50 degree day with the very first thaws that are happening and the snow is melting and you're just playing in mud and people are just, you get home and you've ruined a pair of shoes and you got to wash every disc you had. I know you want to play. I know you're excited. I used to be too. But if you can, go to a field. Go find
I was going to say, go to a different park, like
a soccer field.
or not even a soccer field. If you want to play golf, try to stay off the courses. We don't want them torn up because when it's soft and wet, we do nothing but destroy courses. If your course is in the ground, think twice about playing. Maybe go to a park and make up a course somewhere where there's not a lot of play.
Where you can go out there
and safely do it, as Dana was talking.
Yeah, of course. You can go out there and have some fun. And I know it's tempting because you say, well, the course is in. I'm going to go play. I understand that. And I'm not ripping on anyone that's doing it. I just am politely asking, consider going elsewhere. Find the driest course in your area. Maybe it's the one that's not played that often, but go find the driest one so you're not destroying it for the rest of the year.
And even if the course is in and it's getting play, I know it sounds silly, but think about skipping some of those really wet holes. Or just consciously be aware of your footing and how you're throwing. But overall, better yet, just stay off the course.
I don't know. And this isn't incredibly popular amongst a lot of people that don't understand it. Again, in Wisconsin, we take out a ton of our courses. We have nearly 300 courses. We are one of the states with some of the most courses. We rank top 5 in courses installed in the ground. And many of our courses, especially our more popular ones, are pulled out at least during the spring thaw. They may be out all winter, but at least during that spring thaw, which means from a few days ago when it got nice here, all the way until maybe April or May, whatever it is. And I'm a huge fan of it because it doesn't destroy the courses. So,
and like you were saying, now's a great time for field work. Go work on your putting. Go work on your throwing. Just get some practice in. It doesn't have to be golf. It doesn't have to be actual disc golf.
Yeah. So lots of people have different areas and different things going on. Find a different place to do it is what they're saying. And like I said, and excuse me, it was just suggested, find a course you don't maybe normally go to, you know, and check one of those out. That's an alternative. Excuse me, a little cough there. All right, enough of that. We're going to move on, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I think we can wrap things up unless you have anything else absolutely critical to talk about right now.
I don't. I think we covered a lot tonight.
I've got a pick.
Do you? Good. Make
it's
a
random.
pick.
I don't think you do because we haven't talked about it in a while.
I haven't.
And this may or may not be, well, first of all, it's not going to be all too applicable to a ton of people, but it's something that I really enjoy and like, so I'm going to share it with everyone. I have been at the gym a lot more lately, and I'm going to call this a game changer as I cough. 1 second. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So this was a game changer for me. I think you're crazy if you enjoy a treadmill, but anyway, on a treadmill, on an elliptical, whatever it is.
I like ellipticals. I don't like treadmills.
I mean, I tolerate them both. That's all I'll say that. But there was a QR code or a place to go download an app, and it's called App Audio. And again, this might be particular to your gym, so sorry if this isn't that exciting, but it's called App Audio. And what it then allows me to do is directly connect to the TVs.
Oh, yeah.
Which I know this isn't rocket science. This technology's been around.
It used to be radio stations.
I understand that. What I think is so awesome about it and how I'm going to take advantage of it, I enjoy watching Fallon or Colbert or any one of those guys.
And you tend to work out late at night.
And I tend to work out late at night. Now that I've got an app that allows me to actually watch the shows and listen to them, I'll tell you, I did some of those activities the other night. It was 1/10 as obnoxious to be there because I was able to watch the show and listen to it. They always have the subtitles on, but that only does you so much good. So that's it. App Audio. I thought it was awesome. It's probably really particular to your gym. Your gym may or may not have something like that or a radio station set up for it. But maybe the bigger pick is that if you can actually listen to or watch something that you enjoy while you're on one of those horrendous machines, it may not make it as miserable. So So for some of you gym rats or top pros that already know that, then so be it. But it was a game changer for me. I did not hate every second of it the other night.
All right.
So there's my pick.
That's good. I'll make a quick pick in accordance with that. I like ellipticals over treadmills, and we have one upstairs. We've got which is turned into a clothes hanger.
Okay.
It's a Life Fitness. Life Fitness is the name of the treadmill, and we bought it 10 years, almost 8 years ago. And the thing, it's got a decent amount of miles on it for my wife, but it's still in great condition. So if you're out there, they're expensive. They're kind of gym quality, as they say. If you're looking for an elliptical, Life Fitness ellipticals, I give them a thumbs up. It's a beast. It's as smooth as silk still.
How well do they hold clothes?
They hold towels very well,
Okay.
particularly, especially after swimming or a shower. So, but it hasn't gotten much use in the past, I'd say, year and a half from either myself or my wife. Life has gotten in the way.
All right. No, I wasn't dabbing. I was turning to cough, ladies and gentlemen. All right. We're going to cut you guys loose. It's been a fun show, a little bit unstructured in some ways and a little bit loosey-goosey, as some would say. But we'd like to thank both Val and Zoe for joining us and giving us all the information on what they've been working on. We're looking forward to seeing them in a couple days. And we'd like to thank Dana, our birthday boy, for stepping inside the Smashbox here tonight. And we'd like to thank Paul Ulibarri. We're going to be releasing that as a separate track. You saw it here live, but we'll also release it as a separate track. So if you don't want to listen to that segment again, you can ignore it as it comes in as a separate audio download later in the week. But that'll get released a little bit later as well. And we'll try to break that out every week for everyone. So for all of those guys, for Daredevil Disc, who's been our sponsor and supporter for the past 2 months now, we appreciate what you guys are doing for us. Thank you very much. For Johnny V and myself, that's been podcast number 75. Stick around, because just in a few minutes, we're going to have the after show. Again, we'll see you next time. You step inside the Smashbox. Okay, welcome back, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this is podcast number 75's After Show. Johnny V and myself, Terry Miller, here in the Milwaukee studios. We're going to babble about some random stuff that may or may not have made it into the regular show. We were a little unorganized tonight, Johnny.
And I'll say this: I'm gonna blame slightly our guests. I'm gonna slightly blame us. It was tough with Dana because Dana was out and about. Normally we start with Dana, roll into a guest, roll into Zoe, and then roll into the media and whatever. And we kind of had to
jostle things
intersperse our news between guests while we dialed them up. And especially with having Paul on as a new segment, it was tough to get a hold of him. I don't know if we're going to have him live every week or if we're going to do pre-recorded and then just roll it during the podcast.
Then we could go make pizza or...
Yeah, that'd be great. I got a pizza oven right down here. My wife makes some delicious apple pie.
Yeah, that would be a great idea. So we could just queue up his section
and walk away.
Oh, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, so we'll see how that rolls out. We're still not finished with that.
All right. Well, for those that don't know, here we are. We're in the after show. Not nearly as structured or unstructured as the first show was, but not nearly as structured. We'd love to see comments coming in off the board. We like to take questions, and sometimes we have a random guest. We've had world champions randomly show up in the after show. We've had lots of different things. Anything goes in the after show. Some people would say Smashbox After Dark with 3 X's. I could get on board with that. Marty, I could get on board with that.
I'm going to leave. Save that for the memorial.
I'm just saying I could get on board with that. So glad you guys are here. I'll lead it right away and say if there's anything anyone would like to talk about, maybe specifically memorial related. We didn't really talk too much about our schedule for the memorial, but we do know.
I don't think we're going to do a podcast next Tuesday. Let's roll that out.
Okay.
Because you are leaving on Sunday.
I'm leaving on Saturday.
I'm sorry. You're leaving on Saturday.
Okay.
The event starts on Wednesday. We plan on doing virtually nightly podcasts Wednesday, shows. Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
I don't know about Saturday because that's usually the end of the event, and it's a lot harder to to rally the troops after the event, and including yourself, you're usually out doing other things. And plus, then if we do something Saturday night, we really don't have a lot to talk about on Tuesday. So I wouldn't expect one on Saturday night.
Okay.
But so I don't know if we're going to do
Tuesday night's the real question. The question is, did we do? I thought we did Tuesday night last year, and we had 4 still in a row. Or did we only do 3?
We might have. I don't recall. That was a whole year ago. There's a lot of time between then and now.
Okay. One thing that was discussed a little bit earlier was talking about someone who had won. Yeah, I don't know if he's on the board or not. But Jesse's fighting hard for some recognition here, saying he's 16. He won Open. He shot 1,044 rated round this weekend.
Yeah, I thought I saw he's normally a mid 900s rated player.
Yeah, or low 900 rated player. I didn't think the name was Jesse, but maybe it was. So Jesse, if that was in fact you, congratulations, winning your first Open event. Now there's some conversation also that talks about Paul McBeth and if he can have the same year. Or better.
Well, it would be hard to be better.
It would be.
He would have to win not even virtually. He would have to win every event practically in order to be better than last year. Because he's not playing a ton more events. I don't know how many it's going to roll out to, about the same amount as he did last year, maybe one or a couple less. So as I said earlier with the Disc Golf Pro Tour, he only lost to 6 people total last year, I believe is what it said. At least in the major events.
Yeah, in the biggest ones that qualified. Yeah.
I don't think they included that pre-Australian Open event. But it's almost unfathomable for him to do better.
I don't disagree. I mean, he really set himself up for failure this year.
He really did. It's unfortunate that, this year's going to be such a disappointment for him when he doesn't play as well. When he only wins 97% of his events and not the 99 he's looking for. Or he's 100 he's looking for.
Yeah, a couple of the biggest events are he obviously took down the 5 majors, but then a couple of the national tours, the Coling playoff, not besting Simon over at the Ledgestone. Those are the ones that come to mind.
Yep.
So, there's a little room for improvement, but really not much. So, we'll see what happens. 5 majors they're talking about. All right, how will he hold up if he doesn't start out I think he'll hold up just fine. Right now he's 1 for 1, which Wintertime Open, the B tier, solid players, of course, we talked about, but he'll hold up just fine. If there's one guy that's mentally strong, the question is, I think the real bet would be, and I think you can look back to last year as well for this though, what could conceivably be his worst finish? Because you've never seen him, last year, you never saw him fall off and be like, I had a bad weekend. I finished 10th or 15th or 20th.
No.
He was 3rd or above every single tournament. So he never, had just this blow up weekend where it didn't work for him.
The funny part is the one time you thought maybe he was going to was Worlds, when he kind of fell off the pace.
In the first round or two.
And then flipped it and just turned it on and tore it up. An event where he may not. I'd like to say something like Ledgestone, where there's a little more risk reward, where maybe he gets a little unlucky. Or you could say the same thing about one of the pro tours here at Manitowoc, going up to a course maybe he's not extremely familiar with, playing a course like Rolling Ridge, which is there's some luck involved in that course. Mm-hmm. Hitting your lines and knowing that. So I could see Rolling Ridge him not performing as well as you would expect. So I'll say that. I'll say Manitowoc, if there's a course and an event that he's not going to win or he's going to be odds-on favorite, it'll be Manitowoc.
Okay.
I'll say it right now, I would pick Kale over him right now at that particular event.
We're a few months ahead on Yuli's picks, but
I know.
Bold predictions.
That's a course Kale has tended to do very well at. He knows it inside and out. Assuming he makes it to the event, I see Kale playing very well. And I say that not because he's, tends to be a little bit flaky when it comes to events, but he's running the Majestic shortly after, so whether or not he's going to come at all. But
well, there was a discussion as to, and this has gone back and forth. I've talked to Paul myself about this a number of times as to whether or not he'll be at the Silver Cup. There was originally a conflict, and then he was committed to the Silver Cup, and then he wasn't sure. And then the AM Worlds are the few days, the Silver Cup wraps up on July 9th. AM Worlds is already starting by July 8th and July 9th, just 2 hours away.
Sure.
2.5 hours away in Madison. So it'll be interesting to see. And then I know Paul has promotional obligations over in Europe. So I'm not sure what's going to shake out. I'm not sure anyone knows. I'll say this. Paul doesn't even know yet.
Yeah. I wonder if he doesn't sign up, if Jim will
He's
be
already
able
signed
to
up.
Okay.
He has already signed up.
So we'll see. If he plays, I could see that being an event he does not play well at.
Okay. Wow. Media Marty says from the PDGA that Paul will not finish outside of fourth once this year. I think that's exactly what he said.
Okay.
He will not finish below fourth in 2016. Not once. Those are bold words.
Yeah.
Or not. All right.
The question is, who's going to have the second best year? We're assuming Paul has the best year, is it going to be Ricky? I'm going to put money on Ricky. I think Ricky or Nico.
Schusterek, Nico, Ricky, Lazat, McMahon. You just heard Dana.
I agree. Eagle's going to have a breakout year, but I don't think he's going to have the consistency that we see from like a Nico. I think you're going to see a slight resurgence from Nico this year.
Okay.
That we haven't seen in the past couple. He's always a contender, but he's tended to kind of fail off at the end of a lot of events. I think we're going to see that turn around this year.
All right. Well, Simon Lazat has just reported back to the board here on our live Smashbox updates here during the chat room and saying that he just lost all of the money he won at the Wintertime Open. He just lost it on the blackjack tables out in Vegas.
It sounds like he needs to avoid the blackjack tables.
I should clarify. I don't know if he's specifically.
No, he said he lost $150.
So Simon's gonna have
Sorry,
to.
Simon.
Go back out there.
Go do disc tricks for money. Go turn tricks for money.
And then there's continued conversation. Somebody else said it before. We've said it before. Ricky Wysocki's going to know his bag that much better, so he could have a much more solid year because he's more comfortable with his bag.
Sure.
Drew Gibson just switching from Innova. Even though he's been switched over and has been playing with some DD Dis and the trilogy lineup, he's going to have a slight adjustment period. So yeah, that's certainly going to weigh in. There's a number of players. I think of an Alex Geisinger who's moved from Prodigy to Innova and so on and so forth. We've talked about all the switches.
Yeah, well, Peter Beckwith asked
an
that
adjustment
question.
for everybody.
Who's the one guy that no one's talking about that's going to be surprised this year?
Like dark horse.
Yeah, like last year it was Eagle.
Sure.
Eagle was the one guy that suddenly he showed up and you're like, who's this guy? And if you weren't from Colorado, you really didn't know him.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's a nationwide name. Thanks to us. You owe us, Eagle.
No problem.
But who's that? And it's hard for us to say, but who's going to be that person this year? Is it going to be a Geisinger? Is it going to be like a Matt, or is it Matt Bell?
Matt Bell.
Matt Bell, who's known more regionally, but could he be now a nationwide name? Zach Melton, who last year kind of came out at USDGC, but other than that, he really wasn't. I know he's from the Oregon area, but isn't he?
Tennessee.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tennessee. For some reason, I thought he was out a Portland guy.
No.
Maybe it's just the beard that fools me. I always think everyone with the beard's at Portland. Someone like him who's going to be more of a nationwide name this year. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, clearly, the part of being a dark horse is it's always hard to find the dark horse.
Of course.
I would have to go back, and I think of someone like an Austin Turner who won his Worlds last year, but we haven't seen him travel around as much. He's sponsored by Discraft. He's a super smooth player. And I just want to know if someone like him, if he just gets out of his region, I think that's, as we're saying, that's when the dark horse can emerge, is once somebody gets out of their region so that we can see more of them. I think that's when they're going to jump more into the scene. So Simon Lazat's talking about his trick shot that he released the other day.
Oh yeah, did you see that? The one where he wanted to be
like everyone else. I was creeped out.
He wanted to be more like Paul, and then he used some of the fancy camera I believe it was probably on a cell phone, because I know there's a
Yeah,
couple apps
no,
like
it's
that
an
allow
app,
you.
yeah.
And he switched I can't say switched because there was no other. He took Paul's face and put it on him during the video, and then threw it and made obviously smashed made the shot from 150 or whatever it was out. It was creepy.
It really was.
Yeah.
I don't know that I liked it.
I think I did. I thought it was funny and just a hair creepy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. So Simon, if you're around and you want to chat with us, we'd love to have you join us for a little bit. Johnny, I don't know if you just caught that off. I saw that earlier this morning. Someone had talked about the U.S. Amateur Disc Golf Association. I quickly read through the website. It's usadga.wordpress.com, which immediately, fair or not.
No, there's a stigma. There's a stigma when you don't have your own
domain name.
So maybe they're going to get it USADGA, or if it's available.
Right now,
If not, everyone go out and register it.
usadga.wordpress.com. And he basically just talks about what if there was a sanctioning body, more or less, that helped cater to the amateurs and the growth of the Amateur Disc Golf Association.
How?
And I'm just going to say, good luck. I'll say this. I've seen it come and go. I've seen the idea come and go dozens of times in my 25 years in disc golf. You may be able to make it work. Well, if you click on that, does it bring you on the very bottom? Does it?
They do have USADGA.com.
So why?
All right. Yeah, I don't know why they point. Their WordPress is probably just for their blog.
Okay.
But I can't click on blogs on their website. So clearly they're very early. They're still working on their website. But they do have an actual website, USADGA.
Yeah, so the U.S. Amateur Disc Golf Association. It's
somewhat
limiting.
Yeah.
Right away, you're calling it the U.S. Amateur.
That's fine.
I would I'd call it the Amateur Disc Golf Association.
I just love to know what different they're going to do as opposed to what the PDGA currently has or has tried in the past. That's my main thing. If they want to create something that goes out and promotes amateur disc golf players, more power to you. Go for it. Knock yourself out. Do a great job. But I want to know what you're going to be doing differently. And unfortunately, the blog doesn't quite go into a lot of detail yet. So
we'll see what. We'll see what they come out with. Something I saw actually as I woke up this morning.
I'll say this: I'm not extremely impressed when I see an organization that provided amateur players with a platform that is completely separate from the PDGA. Whoops! Did I just say that? Literally is on their blog. It's amateurish.
Hey-o. I see what you did there.
So, but if they can go out and promote the sport to more amateur golfers, I'll stand behind them. Just do it at a professional level.
Well, and that's one of the considerations that's made regarding the PDGA. If you go out to the PDGA website, a lot of people think that the PDGA is just geared toward professional disc golfers, and clearly it's not, with 78% of the user base being amateurs, 78% of the membership being amateurs. It's the professional association for all disc golfers, and I think that's the perfect way to word it. I don't know, and I understand when as soon as you say PDGA, a lot of people just assume, oh, I'm not a pro, that doesn't apply to me, and clearly that's not the case. So we'll see. We'll see if they throw it against the wall and what sticks and what doesn't, but that's something else that we saw in the news. I believe that was posted just yesterday or today.
Sure.
I saw that as I woke up myself.
Going back to our dark horse picks, Trevor Hook makes a good pick with Chris Dickerson getting out more on tour this year.
Sure.
I think he could be a good dark horse that people aren't as extremely familiar with. So
yeah, and then Anthony Barella, he's already gotten. I mean, he's certainly going to go out and have his pro debut this year.
Yep.
Winning and taking second already at 2 events.
I don't consider him a dark horse.
That's what I was just going to say. He's already kind of in the scene, in the spotlight a little bit. Winning AM Worlds kind of throws you right into that.
In fact, there might be more pressure on him than almost any other pro.
Well, and that's why I say, like in Austin Turner, he won, I believe it was 16 and under or 19 and under, I apologize, one of the two. But he won one of those.
Yeah.
Where Barella, who may have been younger, who is younger, won the regular advanced division. Turner, I think, is much more of a dark horse for that reason. And I think they're very, comparable players.
I agree
already. So that's where I think Turner doesn't necessarily have the name recognition yet, but he could. So he
Yeah,
might
because
be
I was just thinking of previous Am Worlds winners. You've got Uli, who's done very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Coling, who's done very, very well. Other than that, I can't recall all of the Am Worlds winners from the past 10 years, but I don't know if many that are dominating. I know Macbeth took second, but I can't.
Greg Schwartz bested him.
Greg Schwartz bested him. Yeah, that's funny.
Sorry, Paul.
It's always funny. I can't think of any other players that are like dominating the sport right now.
Thor Hollick, Buddy Steen. No, I'm throwing out Am World winners here for you.
I know. Timmy Gill.
There you go. Anyway, AB is smooth, and Austin.
What about our boy from Illinois who's now moving out to California?
Kenny Glassman.
Kenny Glassman.
Yeah. I mean,
So
I don't think he counts in any of this conversation. Oh, as a winner of Am Worlds. Sorry, I wasn't even. Oh, yes.
yeah.
Best Am Worlds winner was Jack Schmalfield. Jack was, I'm going to guess that was the year 2000. Year 2000. I think that was the year 2000, was it not? Anyway.
That was the combined worlds in Michigan.
I'm pretty sure that was him in 2000. Let me know if my own trivia there is right. I'm pretty sure it was. Wiggins Jr. Yeah, there's a...
Oh, that's a good call.
Duh.
But did he win amateur? Did he win it?
He won Am Worlds.
Did he win Am Worlds?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he just won the... I know because he walked up the junior division for quite a while.
2010.
So
2010 is when he won in Ohio.
Oh, Jim Brown says that's 2005.
Okay. No, I don't think he won in 2005, Jim Brown. I'm going to call you out. In Flagstaff? Jackson. Oh, yeah, because Yulee didn't win. I was going
to say 2000.
Well, maybe he did.
2000, that was the combined Michigan World.
Yeah.
That's way too long ago because that's the one that I was at, and I know he didn't win. I don't think he won that one.
No, he didn't. I'm thinking of someone else. Anyway.
Jack Smalls, 2005.
All right.
All right. What else do we got on the after
show? I got anything on my notes section. We talked about the Pro Tour stuff. We talked about, all the other things. We did see, speaking of the American Tour, they said that they have Dick's Sporting Goods. I'd love to know what that means. I'm assuming at some corporate level, but they could have their local Dick's. I have no idea.
Okay.
I just know that they made an announcement saying that they were going to have them as a sponsor. So I thought that was interesting. So
that's very cool. I mean, anytime we can pull in a major sponsor, I'm very happy for any event.
We'll see what that exactly means. Sorry, Sean, if you're sick of hearing about it, but we bring it all up. It's all news to us as talking about the different tours.
Yeah, no, Sean, we're not talking about anything particular as far as the American Disc Golf Tour, just that they're bringing in new sponsors. So unless you're like 45 minutes behind and we're still talking about something else.
I also had a note here from Val talking about the Right to Play fundraising page, saying it was a little bit hard to find, so she included a direct link on her Facebook pages, both for the Val Doss page and the Val Jenkins page.
Yeah, I know when you saw me kind of scrolling through there.
Yeah, but I just knew you weren't very good with the internets.
I don't understand it. How are there pages? Like, I don't get it. And there's all these tabs at the top.
A book. It's not even a book.
I know, pages.
Why are they called pages with tabs?
I don't know.
Not books. So, Country Disc Golf says a local Dick's won't sponsor a local tourney. TD of the series was tried to get them in the area, rejected, saying they only do corporate sponsorship. So
that's great.
That may or may not lead to the conversation we were just having. I'm not sure about that myself. Memorial Talk. We're gonna hash out a schedule. We need to get it posted to Smashbox Facebook page. That is where you're going to see most of the information get posted for the week. The PDGA will be helping us out, posting links and details on the front page of the PDGA regarding our schedule. But plan on one round a day for the 4 days of the Memorial Championships. Plan on a podcast at least Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. Those are all pretty much set in stone. And we're going to do the best we can to bring you the most live, up-to-date action as we can throughout the entire week. We're going to have a number of giveaways. We've got some Memorial Championships swag and some stuff that they want to work with giving away in terms of their sponsorship. And then I'm sure we're going to have different giveaways from sponsors and supporters throughout the week on our show. Tell me if you think this is silly.
I'm going to say yes.
Probably. One thought I had would be some kind of trivia as to taking a guess at how many steps my Fitbit will register in any given day. Maybe it's a daily thing, maybe all 4 days. I'd be curious to know how many steps we take in order of following these players around. And some people might have a little insight because they wear them or they're familiar with it.
Like total for the day?
Yeah, because I think I'll say this. I'm not going to remember to check it before the round and check it right after the round and get all that technical. So maybe some kind of steps for the whole day, which will include an entire round. So that was just one thing I had thought of. Maybe I'll do it on my own if you don't like it. I don't really care.
That's fine.
I think it's a great idea.
All right, well that's good. I keep looking at your cough drops. I want to eat one.
You can.
I will. There's something about cough drops. These aren't the particular kind that I enjoy, but
what are your now we're really getting real here, folks. What are your favorite cough drops?
The Halls.
Oh god, these taste just like them, and I hate them.
Do they? Oh, I love them.
I'm not a fan of the menthol. I know it does certain things for you.
I love how it just feels like it clears you up. Like you feel like you can breathe so much deeper.
Yeah, not a fan.
But
the Ludens, those are basically just candy. I mean, they taste like candy, but I don't feel like, as you're saying, they're nearly as effective.
Will you? Here, Gregoire's throwing up a competition. Will you take more or less steps than Gregoire during the day?
Gregoire, you're so much better of a media guy.
I think he'll do more because
he'll definitely do more.
He tends to follow 2 groups around. You do one, and you might put in 15 to 20,000 steps. Who knows? He'll probably do 50% more than you if he follows 2 groups during the day.
And he'll be running around back and forth.
Yeah.
Good for you, Gregoire.
Steal his Fitbit. Take it. Reset it.
No, I'm gonna wear 2 of them and then combine the 2.
Good call.
I have 2 of them, so I'll just combine them. Yeah. You'll do more steps than me. I don't doubt that. As you should. We have different roles, so back off. Stuff.
I was gonna say, as far as Memorial goes, I've got a ginormous Pelican case over there that I've been filling up with equipment, and I threw 2 discs in there for 2 guys that will be helping us out.
Spoiler. Don't tell them.
They know. At least I'm pretty sure they do. And I'm starting to fill up that equipment case, and we got some awesome new equipment that I'm really looking forward to playing with.
Yeah.
Or I don't get to play with it, but strapping onto GO.
Yeah, we'll be debuting some upgraded technology and upgraded equipment. So hopefully it's going to make your viewing pleasure that much better. We've got a lot of different things for you guys in store. We are planning on covering around a specific card, probably the leader card of whatever division it is, but we'll probably do that. That just helps so much more with the flow and the storytelling, because if we cover, we'll say the leader card, or we back up to the second card and then try and play catch up and so on and so forth, I personally just lose the story as to exactly what's been going on, and it's easier if we're just on one whole. And we don't want people to get too confused as to who we're watching, and then our graphics can get confused and so on and so forth.
We will be following other cards to a point during backups at Fountain. You always see a backup on like 7
or 8,
7 through 10 kind of. We might wander off into second or maybe even third card for a little while to fill some time, but we're going to stick with the lead card. We haven't made a determination yet whether or not we're going to cover the women in a live capacity or just recorded capacity.
So, and then another question asked about lead card coverage only. Like, we kind of just answered that. And is Smashbox upping tournament count this year? We've actually found that we think we're going to be covering roughly the same amount of tournaments as we've done last year and the year before. I think we did somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 or 9 the first year. We did somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 9 last year. And we're probably looking to do about 7 to 8 to 9 or so this year live.
Minimum 7, possibly 9.
Could be 30. No.
No, it couldn't.
No. So we are definitely going to, have a number of them out there. And we're also working on, I'm working with Joe Height from Smashbox here, and we're going to be working on some other recorded coverage. And we're really looking to step up a recorded coverage capacity as well. So you're definitely going to see more media, more disc golf coverage out there. Unfortunately, a lot of it's going to include me, but you're going to see a lot more out there this year for sure. Fountain Hills will at least have 30-minute backups on hole 8. It always does. That's true. So we will catch up with some people.
CDG Country Skull asks, on number 1 at Fountain, which tends to be our premier hole, premier as in that's where we start, the round and the event, is there a way to play without going completely over the water off the tee? Yes, you can play up the right side. To clear the water directly in front of the basket is about 385 feet because the hole is 390 and it's about 5 feet off the water. If you were to go straight from tee to pin, most people don't. Most people cut it short to the right of the pin. At that point, it's about 340 to 350, and then they hyzer in. You can go even further right. The further right you go, the less it is. Up to a point where I think it's about 300 to 280 to clear. It's about 280 to clear it at the shortest point. And you could do that, or if you really don't even have that much of an arm, you could literally play up the path, play to a safe zone about 250 in front of you, and then play over towards the palm trees. Another, it would probably be 150 from there.
Yeah, so you can certainly play it safe. Sometimes the wind makes even just playing it safe really tough.
Yeah, if there's a big headwind, it's very tough.
Or
right to left.
Yeah, it can be really challenging just to play it safe on that hole. It's a very daunting hole. There's usually the largest gallery of the day is standing around hole 1, and it's your first official drive of the day. You may have warmed up, but it's your first official drive of the day, and you're going all water.
I want to see some unofficial hole 1 gambling. Like, there's a hole here in Wisconsin at Northwoods where there tends to be a lot of, everybody picks a player from a card before they throw, and if your player goes OB, you give your dollar to whomever gets the lowest score.
Sure.
Or anything like that. So that would be kind of fun to sit there and just do that with a group of buddies for the day.
Well, and then obviously hole 1 made even more famous last year by Nate Doss and his Sports Center top 10 ace, taking the 10 spot.
Yeah, that's seen a lot of great finishes. Will and Paul.
And
Coling and Paul. And then Doss's start. So, after he aided it like 2 years prior, a year before.
3 or 4 years earlier. 4 or 5 years earlier. I think that was 2011 or so. 2012. Either way, Doss may be one of the few men to ever take an 8 on a hole at a national tour and then ace that same hole. There's not too many opportunities for that.
Yeah.
Out on our national tour scene.
I deuced hole 1 from the long.
Yeah.
I skipped. There's a spot right in front of the basket where it almost comes to with the opposite of a peninsula, where the water is basically a peninsula. I literally skipped over it and parked the hole, thinking that once I left my hand, I thought, oh my God, that's totally in the water. I'm going to skip off the land, but somehow I skipped over it, hit the concrete right in front of where you go be, and stopped dead to save a really nice birdie.
Wow.
It was a bad throw that I was rewarded with. Those are the best.
That's your game, though.
It is a lot of my game.
Excuse me. I'd like to ask a question out there. Media Marty, when are you arriving? And more so, forget Media Marty. What about our Smashies? How many of you guys are going to be there? I'm watching the board. People are talking about things, asking questions. I'd like to know which of our Smashies are going to be out there. And when are you arriving? Are you going to go? Have you played the courses? Give us some feedback on some of that action. I'm going to be arriving, as we said, Saturday. A whole crew from Wisconsin is arriving Saturday. The Disc Golf Pro Tour is going to be there doing some work, getting ready for Disc Golf Pro Tour stuff for later in the year. So I know they're working Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I think into Tuesday. They're going to be doing work. So there's a lot of different things going on. There's going to be a national tour clinic on Tuesday, I believe, which is during the Fly Mart time as well, which will take place. So there's a ton of stuff going on. I just love to know who's all going to be out there and what you're going to be doing. And I guess if you're watching this, maybe you're tuned in and you're gearing up because you're watching from home in a few weeks. But Marty says he's heading out there Monday. DG Beat says he wishes. I said I was going to go for 4 years now. Yeah, you're pretty silly for not doing it. Havasu DG says, I'll be there driving up that morning because of work. I don't need any warm-up. I'm only teeing off with Steve Brinser and Pasi Kovu. Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
So show those guys what's up.
NBD, no big deal, right? Grant Draper says, I am driving from Oklahoma to Arizona Friday, 14-hour drive. I'm going to practice each course, one course a day. So, yeah.
Well, bring some extra plastic.
Yes, bring extra plastic. That's a really good. You won't have any issues. You're not really coming from an area in terms of sea, above or below sea level, any of that stuff, so you don't have to worry about that. But bring extra plastic because it's still going to probably find water.
Fountain will...
Yeah, well, you could find water out at just
Vista. You can,
and you can a little bit at
a little bit. Yeah, there's
a couple spots.
There's like 2 or 3 holes you could. I know. I'm all excited. I went through. I didn't say this last week because it was 2 weeks ago. I did this. I went through all of the recorded top rounds from last year's Memorial, and I got a bunch of stats, facts, and figures that I'm going to put on some of our whole previews. So as far as like average number of birdies, what each player got on the hole, because we're going to have some of those same players on our lead card, so we'll be able to see some of those stats, and I'm excited to get that out. We're waiting on a friend of ours, Rick C. I won't give his last name, to give us possibly some cool lower thirds, some animated graphics. So we're working with him.
Awesome. And Marty Gregoire reminds everyone that Tuesday at 4:30 is when the National Tour clinic demonstration is going to be put on, and that will be taking place near the course's normal hole 1. So that's really where right around the hole 5 or 6 interchanges normally. That's actually where you're going to want to be for player check-in as well as the National Tour Clinic. So that's where you're going to be doing it, not over at Duke's like normal.
And Grant says he's definitely bringing extra plastic, and it's going to be interesting being one of the few lefties out there. And I've said it 1,000 times. I think a great lefty should be able to shoot better on that fountain course. You're always shooting away from the OB almost. At least as far as the water. You may have to go over it, but
you're finishing away from it.
You're finishing away from most of the OB, with the exception of a couple holes where there's OB on both sides.
Yeah,
but
the course really plays counterclockwise around water.
Yep.
So if that helps you at all, if you haven't seen enough already, it plays counterclockwise around the water. So most of the holes are going to be in your favor. And even at Vista, it seems like a lot of OB is the left-hand side while you're moving down. Yeah.
Here's also a good tip as far as this particular event, and Marty Gregoire kind of brought something up. Make sure to have some water, not necessarily drinking water, on you, because that reclaimed water, especially if you have glasses like I do, that reclaimed water can actually corrode. Like if you have special film on your lenses or whatever, if you're one of those weird transitions people, rinse off your glasses if you happen to get that stuff on there. It will eat away at some things. And if you happen to get it on, any sort of your cell phone, anything like that, just make sure to keep it clean, because that water can really do some damage.
Yeah, maybe pack along some Clorox wipes or something like that as well, so that you can always make sure
shower after that round.
Yes, make sure that you keep yourself clean. But yes, the fountain is in fact reclaimed wastewater, so you don't want to, if the fountain's going off or there's a mist or anything of that nature,
turn away.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah,
that's those are good.
Don't go
tips.
In that water anything more than an arm.
Yeah, exactly. Do everything you can, just completely stay out of that water.
And if you find 2 white magnets on that course from about 3 or 4 years ago, they're mine. Please return them to me, because they both went in the water about 1.5 feet and vanished.
Yeah, about that. I met a guy who pulled out 150 discs on hole 1. Yeah.
Oh, I believe that.
Every once in a while they go out there, they get special permission and whatever to go out and get some of the discs out. And especially with both pools, or an AM pool and a pro pool, there will be more than 150. That would be an amazing statistic, is for somebody to keep track, hang out at hole 1.
Yeah.
How many pieces of plastic?
There's got to be someone stationed there. I don't know if
there's a spotter.
Yeah.
Is if you could tell the spotter, okay, you're going to
keep track.
I mean, he's watching every disc anyway.
Yeah.
Keep a running tally of how many discs go in the water. That'd be an awesome statistic to have. Well, maybe not if you're one of them.
Oh, there's definitely more than 150.
Yeah. As to if Greg Barsby's health, well-being, and I was gonna say and aliveness, as far as we know, Barsby is alive. I haven't heard otherwise. As to where he is or what's going on, that I can't really say. I know that, obviously he withdrew last year from a couple big events, including the USDGC. I don't know where he stands. I haven't reached out to him. That would be a good idea just to see how he's doing. But I have not heard. And he's not registered for the tournament.
No.
As far as I recall. So we won't see him. Give that person a clicker as to the spotter on hole 1. That would be a good idea. Oh, and that was just one day. It was 150 plus. Yeah, I believe that. You got to figure there's, I was going to say, is there 400 people now at that tournament? That sounds about right. Roughly 400.
Yep.
So if every other person, and then some people throw in multiples.
Yeah, I would say it's not going to be every other person that
throws in.
Well,
I'm just thinking like average-wise.
Yeah.
If you think about it. If there's 150 and there's 400 people that play that, well, I guess only 200 people play it in a day.
Yeah, but some people play it multiple times. The pros do.
No, in a single day, though, I'm saying.
Oh, in a single day. I was thinking overall for the tournament. But...
Anyway, so that would be a great stat. We'll have to get on that. That'll be a smashy stat for sure. Maybe Dana could do that. We'll set up a camera on. We'll get his camera to get set up on hole 1, and every day for the 4 days, he just has to make sure to tune in and watch that one camera. Over or under on 200? It's over. If it's for a day?
Not for a day. For the whole event, I'd say close to 200.
Oh, God, way more.
You think so? More than
Way
200
more.
pieces of plastic in there?
Yeah. On just hole 1?
Yeah, just hole 1.
Yeah, over 200.
Wow.
Yeah. If roughly 800 people will go... No, sorry. Roughly 6... No, there's play there. The amateurs only play each course once.
The pros play it twice.
So there's 200. Yeah, there's 800 people that will go through that course.
And you think that 1 in 4 will throw in?
Yeah.
Okay. Or multiples?
Yeah. I would, anyway. So a quick way to get the memorial results is pdga.com/2016 memorial. So they've created a little bit of a short link, or whatever the term is.
Just a
Quick
page.
link.
Quick link.
A quick link to be able to find it a little bit easier. So that'll be nice as well. Only the pros that make the cut play twice. Is there a cut?
I don't believe there's an actual cut.
That's.
I think just the pros play it twice.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a cut anymore. Maybe there is. I don't recall. That's funny you ask. We should find that out. All right, I think we've rambled on long enough. I think we don't have much else for people. It's going to be a long couple days of traveling. We wish all of the Smashies, all the fans, all the competitors, all our professionals, everyone to get there safely. If you're playing in the Gentlemen's Club, have fun. Not too much fun in Vegas, but go out there, have a really good time, shoot well, all that good stuff. I'd love to know how those brand new courses treated you, playing out in the ball golf course. I'd love to know how things were set up. I've seen some pictures. People seem to really enjoy it and dig it and say that it's designed really well. So that should be fun for everyone. So we will see you guys in a few days. You're going to see some updates and mini vlogs and all that other stuff out of me. Maybe some periscoping and Instagramming and everything else, all the standard social media stuff. But we won't see you guys till we're live and on the air sometime on Wednesday.
Yeah, probably Wednesday.
Probably Wednesday. There'll be an update or two on this page on Smashbox's YouTube channel. I'm sure I'll have something for you before Wednesday. But this has been podcast number 75's After Show. This is Johnny V. This is Terry Miller, the Disc Golf Guy, heading out of Wisconsin. We'll see you guys in Arizona in just over a week. We'll see you then when you step inside the Smashbox.